Chapter 24. Her sarcastic words made Zhou Fu a little unhappy. So what if he was fat? Being fat meant that he absorbed well and his body was strong. For example, Phase Rush, Giant Dragon Strike, these powerful moves were at his fingertip. He could even use them continuously. He almost broke through Guiyun Temple. Another example was a certain slender black-robed person who shaved him for most of the night. He didn't even feel anything and the other party was already tired. So, it was better for people to be fat. Not only did he look friendly, but he was also steady. One could tell at a glance that he wasn't an impulsive person. Zhou Fu rubbed his hands and smiled. I'm trying to lose weight. Although I'm fat now, I still have a windchaser's heart. Puff! A ball of water exploded and sprayed Zhou Fu's face. The little loli who just drank a mouthful of water had a lot of water. Cough cough little fatty, are you trying to kill me? Cough cough. Zhou Fu was speechless as he wiped the water off his face. Seeing that the little loli had recovered, he continued, I'm telling the truth. I really do have a windchaser's heart. Okay. The little loli kept waving her hand. I believe you. You want to chase the wind, right? Let me think about it. There was a chance. Seeing the little loli thinking, Zhou Fu was overjoyed. However, he didn't show it too much. He was afraid that too much would be as bad as not enough. Oh, windchaser. Yes, windchaser. It's best if it's fast and elegant. Elegant? You? The little loli looked at Zhou Fu in confusion. Zhou Fu's heart jumped. F***ck, I said too much. Elegant, right? As if she thought of something, the little loli's mouth had an innocent and evil smile. Now that you mention it, I do have one. Right, where's the money from last time? Here. A banknote was placed in front of the little loli. However, she didn't even look at it and waved her hand to let the maid put it away. At this moment, Zhou Fu thought of a truth. 9 out of 10 lolis were rich, and one of them lived in a villa. The little loli whispered something into the maid's ear, and then the maid walked out with a strange look on her face. After a while, the little maid came in with a book. Here. Blade steps. You're fast and your movements are elegant. I won't charge you for it this time. When you've mastered it, remember to show it to me. Oh! Although the name was a little strange, it was better than nothing. Zhou Fu took the secret book and was about to open it when the little loli quickly stopped him. Hey, you've already gotten the secret book. There's nothing else, so I won't keep you for dinner. Oh? He was trying to chase him away. He, the great young Master Zhou, had spent a lot of money to come here. How could he be controlled by this little Lolita today? Could he? Yes. After all, they were no match for him. Alright, big sister Yuer, please rest. I'll take my leave first. After Zhou Fu left the room, the little loli said in a strange tone, Say, what do you think this little fatty will become after practicing blade steps? A wild rabbit? Or maybe a wild boar? Poochie. The little maid's words broke the little loli's defense. She held her stomach and rolled on the soft couch. After a while, the little maid reminded, Young miss, if you gave him the blade steps, then young Master Chun from the Blood Blade sect. Shut up. Young miss, I was wrong. The little loli looked at the kneeling maid with a cold expression and said in a deep voice, Seeing that you've been with me for a few years, I'll let you go this time. Next time, if you dare to mention that name in front of me, I'll kill you. The little maid trembled and quickly kowtowed to admit her mistake. Sigh, I spent 1,000 taels of silver and didn't even get to eat a meal. This is really. Zhou Fu stood at the entrance of the Cinnamon Fragrance restaurant waiting for the carriage. He was going to find a restaurant to eat. Oh, isn't this young Master Zhou? Hearing the familiar voice, he turned around and saw that it was actually Lu Tong. This fellow also just came out of the Cinnamon Fragrance restaurant. After the two of them looked at each other, they nodded in tacit understanding. Zhou Fu smiled awkwardly and said, I'm just relaxing. Yes, I'm also relaxing. After being nervous for the whole night, I naturally need to relax. After a night of thrilling events, The two of them who had just parted in the morning met at the Cinnamon Fragrance restaurant in the afternoon. Life was really strange. For a moment, the two of them waited awkwardly for the carriage to arrive. Neither of them spoke first. The sound of the carriage wheels could be heard. It was Zhou Fu's carriage. "Brother Lu, I'll be leaving first." Okay. Take care, Brother Zhou." After saying goodbye, Zhou Fu nimbly boarded the carriage. Just as he was about to instruct the coachman to hurry, Lu Tong's voice sounded again. "Brother Zhou, take care. There's something I almost forgot." Zhou Fu lifted the curtain and asked, "What is it, Brother Lu?" Lu Tong's face turned serious and said, "I wonder if Brother Zhou is free. Let's find a quiet place." Looking at the other party's eyes, Zhou Fu nodded and said, "Okay." Drunken Immortal Residence, the Zhou family's property. In the quiet private room, the table was filled with fragrant dishes. It was said that the head chef had personally prepared these dishes. After all, he was the only son of the boss. He had to be licked. Zhou Fu swung his arms and gobbled up the food on the table. 9 layers of food on the table went into his stomach. Lu Tong originally wanted to accompany the other party to eat, but after seeing the way Zhou Fu ate, he suddenly felt a little bloated. "Young Master Lu, can you tell me what you want now?" Lu Tong's mouth twitched. "Brother Zhou, you have a big appetite." Then, he took a package from the side and placed it on the clean table. He even looked around carefully. "Young Master Lu, don't worry. This is my family's property. There are no outsiders." Lu Tong didn't think much of it. He carefully opened the package. There were a few wooden boxes inside. Then, he gestured for Zhou Fu to open them. "What the hell?" Zhou Fu frowned and reached for the box closest to him. The box was about the width of his palm and about 30 centimeters long. After opening it, there was a ginseng inside. "Young Master Lu, what is the meaning of this? Was he trying to sell it to the Zhou family at a cheap price?" Lu Tong whispered, "Brother Zhou, don't you think this box looks familiar?" Zhou Fu turned the box and suddenly found the word Zhou in a corner of the inner wall of the box. "This is?" Lu Tong said, "This is the item that was robbed from the Zhou family some time ago." He looked at the shocked expression on Zhou Fu's face and continued, "Young Master Zhou, do you want to guess how this item ended up in my hands?" "You robbed it?" Cough cough. Lu Tong's chest tightened and he almost fainted. "Don't joke around, Brother Zhou. Forget it, I'll tell you. I got this from the Black Mountain Bandit. That channel happened to be connected to a source of goods from my family, so these items ended up in my hands." Zhou Fu nodded. Right now, he was very confused. He didn't even know that his family had been robbed, and it was an outsider who told him. "I wonder if Brother Lu could give me some information on the Black Mountain Bandits?" Lu Tong wasn't surprised by Zhou Fu's request. As the eldest son of a family, there was a lot of pressure. They all wanted to achieve amazing results so that when they took over the family, there would be fewer voices of opposition. "Of course, we're friends." Zhou Fu smiled. "Yes, we're friends. Tender author looking for treasure, looking for recommendation." Chapter 25. In Hengyun Casino, Zhou Fu was sitting in his own courtyard, flipping through the information on the Black Mountain Bandits that Lu Tong had sent over. Half a year ago, there were a dozen people from Heong City. The leader was called Ho Rong. Under Ho Rong's lead, these people quickly took over the bandits in the surrounding mountains, and in just 3 months, they had grown to a size of 500 people, and became one of the 3 largest bandit groups outside of Heong City. Wow, good. Reading this, Zhou Fu felt that something was wrong. Growing to a size of 500 people in 3 months, as long as the government of Heong City wasn't blind, and the leaders of the families in Heong City weren't stupid, they wouldn't just sit by and watch another bandit group grow. However, this kind of thing just had to happen. Ho Rong's Black Mountain Bandits attacked again after half a month of peace. In just one night, they had taken over 2 other bandits, and became the only bandit group outside of Heong City. At the same time, their numbers had reached 2,000 people, and people called them the Black Mountain Bandit. The Black Mountain Bandits had set a rule that all merchants passing by must pay 10% of their goods, and after paying, the Black Mountain Bandits would escort the merchants to the border of Haeong City and ensure their safety. Because of this, Haeong City had silently acknowledged the existence of the Black Mountain Bandit. There were 10 pages in total, and it introduced the Black Mountain Bandits in detail. Damn, these Black Mountain Bandits are really troublesome. According to the Zhou family's influence in Haeong City, they would definitely find out the identity of the robber, but the strange thing was that the Zhou family didn't even say anything. But this is good, I'll find a chance to get back at them. Zhou Fu grinned. Ever since he found out that he could quickly increase his mastery and reduce the cooldown time, he wanted to find something to do. Now that there was a target in front of him, he would be at a disadvantage if he didn't take it. As the saying goes, one must be strong to forge iron. I'll level up first. He summoned the flying celestial support panel, and the 2 scrolls that he had obtained earlier appeared in his status panel. Level up. Ding. Motionless seal has been successfully leveled up. Current level 10. Cooldown 10 days. Based on Zhou Fu's thoughts, with the support of Bronze Armor Art and Eternal Spring Force at level 20, his body had already undergone a tremendous change. This time, when he leveled up his immovable fundamental seal, he would not have too bad of an experience. F***CK, his body, which had been sitting in the chair, instantly arched. At this time, a strange force emerged from Zhou Fu's body. It was different from the boiling hot flow in the past. These forces were constantly compressing his muscles and internal organs, and even his bones were being squeezed until they hurt. Although these forces were small, they were incomparably overbearing. They were like hammers, constantly hammering Zhou Fu's body like a piece of iron ore. Every minute and every second Zhou Fu felt like he was being tortured. Fortunately, the transformation project lasted for about the time it took to brew a cup of tea. Zhou Fu, who had recovered, was quite thirsty. He reached out to grab the teacup and was about to pour it into his mouth. Crack! The delicate porcelain teacup in his hand broke into several pieces, and the tea inside spilled all over the floor. What was going on? Ah, young master, be careful. The maidservant, who was standing not far away, quickly came forward. Her small white hands were holding a piece of cloth, and she was about to help Zhou Fu clean up the water stains on his body. This gave Zhou Fu a fright. He quickly waved his hand. No need. Go get me a cup and clean up here. Yes, the maid stopped what she was doing and gave Zhou Fu a resentful look before turning around and walking away. This look gave Zhou Fu goosebumps all over his body. Damn, boys should really take good care of themselves. Life is really full of danger. After coming back to his senses, Zhou Fu looked at his hands. Isn't this motionless fundamental seal a bit too strong? It's the first time I leveled it up, and it can already torture me to death. Moreover, the strength bonus is so high. Thinking about it carefully, it didn't seem to be a problem for a skill to be placed in the Buddha's head in the main hall to be a bit stronger. After thinking it through, Zhou Fu continued to level up his blade step. Ding, blade steps has been successfully leveled up. Current level 10. Proficiency 0/1000. Following the notification, Zhou Fu felt the muscles on his legs begin to twitch, and a small stream of heat also emerged. Oh, this is the feeling of leveling up. Looking through the memories of blade steps in his mind, he felt that this thing would be great when combined with mountain-breaking fists. After having this idea, he looked up at the wooden stake that was a dozen steps away from him. Blade steps. Bang! A burst of energy exploded beneath his feet. Whoosh! The whistling wind blew past Zhou Fu's ears. Damn! The wooden stake suddenly enlarged in front of his eyes, and he didn't have time to react at all. He stretched out his face and crashed into it. Boom! A cloud of dust flew, and the wooden stake that was firmly placed was directly knocked away by Zhou Fu. The huge force slammed the wooden stake into the wall. After the wooden stake fell, several cracks appeared on the wall. Damn, is this a movement skill? Looking at the effect that he had caused, Zhou Fu's face was full of surprise. After the surprise, he missed the black-robed man very much and wanted to have a good chat with him. Although Zhou Fu hasn't mastered blade steps, he can still crash into it. Why don't I go to Guiyun Temple again? Zhou Fu, who was immersed in his fantasy, had a silly smile on his face. Even Iron Tiger, who was standing at the gate of the courtyard for a while, didn't notice. What a strong force! After seeing Zhou Fu crash into the wooden stake, Iron Tiger was stunned. Although this force and speed were not a threat to him, it was very abnormal for Zhou Fu to do this. In 10 days, does this young master Zhou really have such a terrifying talent? He looked at Zhou Fu, who was constantly sprinting in the courtyard, and his face was very complicated. Iron Tiger pondered for a while, and a light flashed in his eyes, and then he turned and left. Young master! Young master! Just after Zhou Fu had a preliminary mastery of blade steps, a servant hurriedly ran in. Young master, someone outside left a letter, saying it's for you. Zhou Fu took the letter and asked casually, "Where's the person who delivered the letter?" That person left the letter and left. An inexplicable sense of familiarity suddenly appeared in his mind. Zhou Fu tore open the letter, and a green jade pendant fell out. This is Zhou Ji's? He frowned and opened the letter. Today at dusk, 10 miles outside the West City. Otherwise, Zhou Ji will die. Thinking of that Zhou Ji, Zhou Fu shook his head. He was now a little confused. Why would this letter be sent to him? Shouldn't it be sent to second Uncle Zhou Dun? At the very least, it should be sent to Zhou Detsai. Why was it sent to him? A thought flashed through his mind, and Zhou Fu thought to himself, is it coming for me? 10 miles outside the West City. Is the black-robed man coming back for revenge? The corner of Zhou Fu's mouth rose slightly. Son of a bitch, Grandpa was worried about not being able to find you. Please add and recommend. Chapter 26. The sun was setting in the west, and there were clouds of fire in the sky. The west side of the city was where the poor gathered. Dirty water flowed everywhere, and the ground was in a state of disrepair. Other than the livestock traders, no one else would come here. Outside the city gate, it was even more desolate. Damn it, they don't even need a set to film a horror movie in this place. Zhou Fu looked at a few crows on a dead tree not far away with disdain. 5 miles away from the city. 5 miles, which was 5 kilometers. It was not far, but it was not near either. With the help of the mare that Zhou Fu had specially chosen, he stopped after about 20 minutes. No specific time, no road signs. This is no different from being a hooligan. As they left Heong City, forests began to appear on both sides of the road. Zhou Fu found a big rock and sat down. Caw, caw, there was a shrill bird call, and a few big black birds flew out from the forest not far away. Sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Zhou. Zhou Fu turned his head and saw 5 people dressed in gray with black veils covering their faces walking out of the forest. They were holding 5 long swords in their hands. The 5 of them walked out of the forest and spread out in front of Zhou Fu, surrounding him tightly. Where is Zhou Ji? The leader was a burly man, and there was a scar on his face that extended from his forehead to the corner of his eye and into his mask. Mr. Zhou is indeed the son of the Zhou family. Not only did you come here alone, but you are also not panicking now that you are surrounded. How admirable! There was a burst of strange laughter as well. Zhou Fu frowned. Cut the crap. I am here now. Where is Zhou Ji? TSK, such brotherhood. You should take care of yourself first. Zhou Fu's expression suddenly changed. He took a step back and looked at the man with fear and shouted, What do you mean? Didn't you say that I am here? What do you want? Oh my God! The burly man exclaimed, I never thought that the eldest son of the Zhou family would be so naive. Damn it, I am embarrassed to do it. Ha 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 ha, he must be an idiot. That's right, that's right. I didn't think that the eldest young master of the Zhou clan would be such a fool. Damn it, if my son is like this, I will definitely stuff him back. Forget it, you don't even have a wife. How can you have a son? F*CKU bang. There was an explosion on the ground, and Zhou Fu's figure instantly disappeared. Bang. The criminal who had said he would stuff his son back in was sent flying and crashed into a tree 5 steps away. The tree shook, and the leaves on top of it fell down. The bandit fell to the ground again, face down, motionless and lifeless. Zhou Fu said, I wanted to play with you guys, but why did you start to talk shit? Humph. Shove it back? I don't have that ability, but I do have the ability to send you down to reincarnate. The scene instantly quieted down. The bandits stared blankly at their brothers who had been killed, their minds blank for a moment. Third brother. The leading brawny man roared angrily. B*****. You dare to kill third brother, I will make you pay with your life. Just as the bandit leader roared, Zhou Fu's figure flashed, and he used the knife steps again. Mountain Splitter. Whoosh! The mountain splitter, enhanced by the knife steps, delivered a terrifying blow, and the huge fist imprinted on the chest of a bandit. The bandit looked as if he had been hit by a large truck, and his body was sent flying. With a bang, he hit the ground, catching up with third brother's footstep. Fourth brother. Knife steps. The wind suddenly blew, and Zhou Fu rushed to the front of a bandit, raised his hands and suddenly chopped down. A pair of fleshy palms made a low humming sound in the air, like a pair of axes. Bang! Crack! The dull sound of bones cracking came from the bandit's chest, and the bandit was sent flying backward. Blood spurted from the bandit's mouth and spilled all over the ground. Fifth brother. The bandit leader screamed again, and this time, second brother, who hadn't been named yet, was frightened. Clang! The long knife fell to the ground, and second brother turned and ran into the forest. He didn't want to be named by his boss. No. Second brother. Second brother. Second brother, who was running wildly, heard his boss's screams again, and all the hair on his body stood on end. It's over. I'm going to die. I've been named by the crow's mouth. Then, he felt a huge surge of power and his body became light. The world spun and the world turned dark. I'll kill you. Seeing his brothers being killed one by one, the bandit leader broke down. He roared and swung the long knife in his hand at Zhou Fu, and then, he turned and ran, and his speed was much faster than second brother's. Zhou Fu was dumbfounded by what he saw. What the F***ck was this? Was this the Black Mountain Bandits? He dodged the long knife, and the unique explosive sound of the knife steps rang out. In 2 breaths, he had caught up with the bandit leader. Smack! Zhou Fu slapped the bandit leader on the head. Plop! Using the inertia, the bandit leader rolled a few meters forward. When he stopped, he suddenly knelt down in front of Zhou Fu. Hero, spare me! Hero, spare me! Zhou Fu asked, Are you Black Mountain Bandits? Where's Zhou Ji? The burly man, who was begging for his life, was stunned. Black Mountain Bandits? No, we're not Black Mountain Bandits. We're not. Not? What the hell was going on? How could this kind of trash kidnap Zhou Ji? However, in the next second, he recalled the incident in the alley. He suddenly felt that it was not impossible for Zhou Ji to be kidnapped. Then who are you? I'm from the west of the city. I'm really not a Black Mountain Bandit. I don't have that ability. F***ck. He spoke as if the threshold to be a Black Mountain Bandit was very high. The west of the city. Those who could cause trouble in the west of the city were either hooligans or scoundrels. Each of them had several names under them. The people who lived in the west of the city were poor commoners. They did not have enough to eat and fell sick easily. Their bodies were very weak. If they were bullied by these hooligans, they would lose half of their lives. If they were unlucky, it was not impossible for them to die directly. Zhou Fu asked impatiently, "Where's Zhou Ji? Since you sent the letter to me, it can't be that you don't know where Zhou Ji is, right?" The burly man hurriedly nodded. I know. Second young master is in the west of the city." "The west of the city?" Yes. "Does Zhou Ji live in the west of the city?" In response to Zhou Fu's question, the burly man replied, Yes. Although the west of the city cannot be compared to other places, there are still restaurants and inns. There are also many brothels and many of them are clean." Zhou Fu nodded and continued, "Give me Zhou Ji's address." Okay. Second young master is in. First young master Zhou, I've said everything that needs to be said. Can you let me go now? Oh? Sure. You can go. The burly man was overjoyed. "Thank you, young master Zhou. Thank you, young master Zhou." But just as the burly man turned to run, Zhou Fu's fist fiercely imprinted on his back. The strong fist force entered and broke his heart. Blood mist filled the air. Zhou Fu's face was a bit pale as he looked at the body of the burly man and said, "You wanted to kill me. How can I let you live?" Zhou Ji, he sighed, got on his horse and rushed towards Heong City. "I'll have to trouble you guys to recommend me and click on the search button." Chapter 27. When Zhou Fu entered the city, it was already dark and the streets were filled with orange lights. I didn't expect this place to be so lively at night. During the day, the streets were deserted and there were not many people. When night fell, it became lively. It was not inferior to the trading market in the East City during the day. Sure enough, nightlife is the way to go. Rumble, rumble, the sound of hurried hooves, accompanied by the sound of rolling wheels, sounded. Zhou Fu jerked the reins and made way. Bang! Mud splashed everywhere. Not far from Zhou Fu, there was a small puddle that the carriage's wheels had just run over. Damn it, are they in a hurry to be reincarnated? Looking at the mud spots on his trousers, Zhou Fu was no longer in the mood to enjoy the night scenery. He gently touched the horse's belly with his heel, and the little mare quickened her pace. This Zhou Ji really knows how to enjoy life. He booked a courtyard and has someone to take care of his daily needs. This guy is catching up with me. After asking a few people, he came to the courtyard where Zhou Ji lived. He walked up the steps and was about to knock on the door when the wooden door opened a crack. At the same time, two men's voices came from inside. He, second brother, we're rich this time. Yes, this is simply a meal given by God. It's the kind of big fish and meat. Who would have thought that we could meet a fat sheep while we were eating? Fat sheep? Outside the door, Zhou Fu's heart sank. Could this fat sheep be Zhou Ji? The people inside the door continued, "Second brother, why don't we go have some fun? You have money? Heh, that kid just dropped a jade pendant. It looks pretty good, like it's worth a lot of money." Jade pendant? Let me see. Here, second brother. Don't let the boss know about this. I know. Let go. The courtyard was quiet for a while. Just as Zhou Fu was getting impatient and was about to go in, the voice sounded again. This Zhou, could it be the Zhou of the Zhou family in Heong? If so, it's a bit troublesome. What's so troublesome about it? The Zhou family knows that we robbed them. They didn't even fart. Smack. Shut up. Second brother, you hit me. Enough, let's hurry up and leave. Today's matter is a little big, retreat. Zhou Fu stared at the wooden door. The footsteps inside were getting closer and closer. Just as the footsteps approached the door, the qi and blood in his body instantly boiled. Streams of force gathered under his feet, and his right hand clenched into a fist. Creak, the wooden door opened. A dark face was revealed. Who are you? Zhou Fu grinned. Des. Bang. His energy exploded, and a powerful force rose from the bottom of his feet and poured into his right arm. Boom. Two figures rushed into the courtyard one after another. Bang. The first figure crashed onto the ground, his body trembling non-stop. Second brother. At this moment there was another person standing in the courtyard. Under the moonlight, one could see a strong silhouette. He was very tall. Quick, run, second brother. After confirming that the person on the ground was his second brother, the strong man roared, "Bastard, you dare to hit my second brother, I'll beat you to death." Before he could finish his sentence, the burly man suddenly rushed over, and his thick right arm smashed down like an iron rod. Before the opponent's attack landed, Zhou Fu felt a gust of wind blowing over. Good timing! His eyes lit up. Ever since his physique had been constantly strengthening, he had always wanted to test the limits of his strength, but he didn't want others to see it, so he had been suppressing it. Now that he saw someone who could hit with such strength, he instantly felt his blood boil. Mountain splitter. Step and punch. From bottom to top. Boom. Two fists collided. Zhou Fu's body shook violently, and he took 2 steps back. The strong man was in a worse state than him. He was sent flying 5 steps by Zhou Fu's punch. After landing, he stabilized his body with difficulty and covered his right hand as he cried out, "It hurts. While you're sick, I'll take your life." Blade step. Zhou Fu rushed in front of the strong man in an instant, and his right fist smashed towards the strong man's ribs. When the strong man reacted, it was too late. His eyes flashed fiercely. "I'll fight with you, I'll beat you to death." He swung his left hand violently, and it swung towards Zhou Fu's head. Crack! Bang! Zhou Fu's punch broke the strong man's ribs, and the huge force sent the strong man flying again. Even so, he couldn't dodge the attack. His head sank, and the strong force of the opponent made him fall forward. "Damn! I'm dizzy!" Shaking his dizzy head, Zhou Fu walked to the strong man. At this time, the strong man had lost the ability to fight. The strong man spat out blood. When he saw Zhou Fu walking over, he opened his mouth, but no words came out. Cough, cough. "Who are you?" The person who was sent flying by Zhou Fu with a punch spoke. After Zhou Fu confirmed that the strong man had lost the ability to fight, he walked over and smashed his fist again. "Don't worry, let's go in and talk." After adding another punch, he dragged the 2 of them into the house and closed the door to the courtyard and the room. Zhou Fu looked at the 2 men who were beaten up by him and asked, "Tell me, who are you?" "Cough, cough, brother, is there any misunderstanding between us?" Zhou Fu raised his fist. "My patience is limited. Be honest with me. I'm the one who's asking you now. Tell me, who are you?" Black Wind Mountain, Erhu. Erhu pointed to the strong man who punched Zhou Fu and said, "This is San Hu." "Then do you have another one called Dahu?" At this time, San Hu spoke with difficulty. "How do you know our big brother?" Boom. The door that was closed earlier made a loud noise and instantly shattered into a pile of wood chips. "I'm Dahu. How may I address you?" A one-eyed man in a brown coat walked in. There was a hideous scar on his exposed chest, and his whole person exuded a ferocious aura like a beast. "Big brother! Big brother!" Dahu glanced around and saw the miserable state of his 2 brothers. He turned his head to look at Zhou Fu. "Good boy, how dare you hurt my brothers?" Wu, a cold light fell into his hand. It was a long knife that was 3 fingers wide and had a blood groove on it. "Whether there is a misunderstanding between us or not, you must die today. Kill." The long knife in Dahu's hand chopped down, and Zhou Fu hurriedly dodged. Seeing Zhou Fu dodge, Dahu didn't care and grinned. "Boy, Grandpa won't let you die so quickly." Dahu turned his wrist, and the sharp blade slashed through Zhou Fu's clothes. This was his best skill, the starting move of wind-chasing blade, and also his proudest move. Stab. Zhou Fu only felt a cold light flash in front of his eyes, and a cold air scraped against his skin, and a big hole was opened in his chest. After he dodged, a layer of cold sweat appeared on his forehead. F***ck, this guy almost gave me a thoracotomy. After dodging the blade, Zhou Fu quickly retreated, grabbed the stool next to him, and threw it at Dahu. Dahu didn't dodge, and the long knife in his hand slashed down. Boom! The sharp blade instantly split the stool in half. Good boy, what great strength! Feeling the strength from the long knife, Dahu praised, but the fierceness in his eyes was more intense. Die! The long knife shook, and there was a light hum in the air, and the cold light flashed in the room. Zhou Fu, who didn't have time to breathe, saw this scene and cursed loudly, constantly grabbing the things next to him and throwing them over. Son of AB****, when I go back, I must find a weapon to practice. He reached out again, but suddenly he caught nothing. Zhou Fu's heart trembled. Damn it, there was nothing left. Dahu grinned. Boy, die for Grandpa. The knife was like the wind, and it swept toward Zhou Fu. If you feel that this book is okay, please recommend and support it. Thank you. Chapter 28. In the face of the cold steel blade, Zhou Fu was terrified. He no longer had confidence in his level 20 bronze armor art. He did not dare to fight against steel with his body. Stab. F***ck. With a moment of carelessness, another blade mark appeared on Zhou Fu's body. In the current situation, the blade step had lost its effect. If he rushed forward, he would be pierced by the other party. Body technique, weapon, damn it, I'll remember. Big Tiger looked at Zhou Fu, who was struggling under his blade. His eyes were full of excitement and cruelty. Boy, keep dodging faster. I'll cut off your left arm next. Zhou Fu was stunned. A cold light flashed. A piercing pain came from his arm. Ah! This was the first time he had felt this pain. It was so painful that he felt the world around him begin to spin. Whoosh! Whoosh! Just as he was stunned, two cold lights flashed across Zhou Fu's body again. The wound was very deep. It was so painful that his scalp twitched. Zhou Fu's painful expression stimulated Big Tiger's emotions. He shouted excitedly, "Ha ha ha ha! Boy, feel good! Feel good! Ha 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 ha!" The severe pain tore at Zhou Fu's nerve. His reason had faded. In addition to the pain, there was the fear of being surrounded by death. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I've been stabbed. I'm bleeding. I'm going to die. The surrounding air seemed to have turned into an airtight wall, connecting the sky and the ground. It was slowly but firmly squeezing toward him. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. There was a saying that was true. If a person was on the verge of death once, then he would cherish life more. At this time, blood vessels crawled all over Zhou Fu's eyes. It's you who should die. It's you. Boom. A large amount of qi and blood exploded in an instant under extreme emotions. Waves of force were generated in Zhou Fu's body. Blade step. Impact. Boom. The ground beneath Zhou Fu's feet instantly crumbled, and countless tiny pebbles flew everywhere. The sudden change alerted Big Tiger. His expression changed drastically as he waved the long saber in his hand. The saber wind weaved into a saber net in front of him. Just as the saber net was formed, a figure rushed in. Die. Zhou Fu's body was cut open by the gleaming blade, but he could no longer feel the pain. He only wanted to kill the person holding the blade in front of him. Die. Big Tiger's face changed dramatically. He flipped his wrist and held his long saber horizontally in front of him. However, he had no chance. Zhou Fu slammed into Big Tiger with a huge force, and then he rushed to Second Tiger and Third Tiger, who were watching the show on the ground. Not good. Big brother. Big brother. Boom. Crack. The four of them instantly rolled into a ball. Poof. The long saber in Big Tiger's hand had fallen. He had just lifted his upper body when he felt the qi in his chest tumbling, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Zhou Fu was like a madman. He suddenly turned over and rode on Big Tiger's body, raising his fist and bombarding down. Boom. Boom. Die. 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 In Air Hu's eyes, his big brother's intact upper body was smashed little by little, and then turned into a bloody pulp. When the demon slowly stopped, His big brother's chest and above had disappeared, leaving only a pool of bloody sticky substance. Ghost! Ghost! The shrill cry alarmed Zhou Fu. He turned around and looked at Erhu. At this time, Zhou Fu's eyes were red and he was delirious. When he saw Erhu lying on the ground and constantly retreating, trying to get away from him, he roared, "You deserve to die! You deserve to die!" He suddenly pounced on him. Erhu's face changed drastically. He didn't want to die, and he didn't want to die like his boss, without a complete corpse. No, no, don't come over. No matter how shrill he screamed, it was too late. Zhou Fu was riding on Erhu's body, and his heavy weight made it difficult for the other party to breathe. No, don't. I know where that person is, I know. But the reply was still the same. You deserve to die. A huge fist smashed down on his face. Erhu closed his eyes in despair. No! Whoosh! A wooden plank flew toward Zhou Fu's right hand, trying to block his fist. Zhou Fu suddenly turned around, and with a wave of his right hand, he shattered the plank. Brat, wake up! The person who came in was the Zhou clan's guardian, Wang Feng. After Wang Feng entered the room, he was also shocked by the situation before him. He didn't know that Zhou Fu would be so ruthless. But when he saw Zhou Fu's eyes, he instantly understood. It turned out that he had fallen into a demonic state. Falling into a demonic state meant that when one's emotions reached an extreme, their body would erupt with a powerful force, and their consciousness would start to lose consciousness. Only a strong will would be left to control the body. Zhou Fu stood up and turned toward Wang Feng. The blood and qi in his body surged, and a surge of strength rushed to his limbs. Wang Feng was so angry that he laughed. "Oh, brat, you still want to exchange moves with me?" Zhou Fu was expressionless. Wang Feng stretched out his hand. "Come, let this daddy see what you've learned recently." Roar! Zhou Fu roared and stepped forward, arriving in front of Wang Feng in the blink of an eye. Wang Feng's eyes lit up and he praised, "Good! Looks like your movement technique is pretty good." He raised his hand and flipped his palm, blocking Zhou Fu's punch. Boom! Impossible! The huge force instantly forced Wang Feng to take 2 steps back. He looked at Zhou Fu, who had pounced on him again, in shock. Is this kid possessed by a demon? How can he be so strong? Since that's the case, this daddy won't hide it anymore. He twisted his body and brushed past Zhou Fu's arm to dodge the punch. Then, he twisted his waist and slapped Zhou Fu's right shoulder with his right palm. Bang! The domineering palm directly sent Zhou Fu flying. Seeing Zhou Fu stand up again, Wang Feng's expression became serious. He put down his playful attitude and prepared to see how strong this brat was. Again. Although a person in a demonic state was delirious, their reaction speed and attacks were much stronger than usual. Zhou Fu roared again. He stepped forward and attacked with his palms. At the same time, a heavy aura appeared around his body. This time, Wang Feng was really scared. He exclaimed, F***CK. Stone palm at advanced level? He even managed to cultivate inner strength. Seeing this, he didn't dare to let Zhou Fu use it anymore. He was afraid that Zhou Fu's body wouldn't be able to withstand the rolling stone palm. On the other hand, he was afraid that his heart wouldn't be able to take it. This was too scary. Even a genius couldn't be this strong. He remembered that he had trained hard for half a year and only managed to cultivate inner strength under the guidance of his master and senior brothers. Kid, let this old man have a good sleep. Wang Feng's body suddenly disappeared. When he reappeared, he was standing behind Zhou Fu. His right hand grabbed Zhou Fu's neck. His right hand shook, and Zhou Fu fell to the ground like a toy without electricity. TSK, so scary. I used 70% of my strength to knock you out. Comparisons are odious. Then, he turned around and looked at the dumbfounded second tiger and third tiger. The smile on his face had disappeared. The two of you, it's late. Come to my house and rest. Chapter 29. Zhou Fu opened his eyes. In front of him was the familiar ceiling, the familiar wooden bed, and Wang Feng? Yo, you're awake? I thought you wouldn't wake up until night time. The sinister smile and gloating tone left Zhou Fu dumbfounded for a moment. What happened? I just woke up. What's going on? Zhou Fu, who wasn't used to being stared at by an old man, turned around and was about to get up. Ouch, damn it, an intense soreness spread from his waist. This feeling was very familiar. He almost thought that he had returned to the days when he was practicing his ancestral skills. Ha 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 ha. The arrogant laughter echoed in the room, making Zhou Fu's face darken. How much hatred did this guy have for him to laugh like this? Uncle Feng. It's not that bad. Wang Feng was overjoyed. He came to visit Zhou Fu early in the morning because he wanted to see this scene. Last night, after he exchanged 2 moves with Zhou Fu, his hand hurt for half the night. He was so angry that he wanted to beat Zhou Fu up. Now that he had seen what he wanted to see, Wang Feng was satisfied and prepared to leave. Kid, take care of yourself. Zhou Fu took a deep breath until his entire back was swollen. Dong dong, a clear pulse came from his shinshu point, and a warm current flowed out from there. Phew, this feeling was like masturbating. Zhou Fu sighed in his heart. He then looked at Wang Feng and asked, Uncle Feng, what happened to me? Wang Feng explained, do you remember the fight you had with someone yesterday? Of course. How could he not remember? I remember part of it. Looking at Zhou Fu's depressed expression, Wang Feng smiled. It's good enough that you can remember part of it. Yesterday, when you were in danger, you suddenly turned into a demon. Luckily, I found out early, or else you would have been crippled. Turned into a demon? Crippled? These 2 words almost made Zhou Fu think that he had used the sky demon disintegration technique. Uncle Feng, what do you mean? This question made Wang Feng think of some unpleasant scenes, as well as his hand that had been hurting for half a night. What do you mean? In other words, you unleashed your body's potential in an extremely dangerous situation. What you're experiencing now is the aftereffect of unleashing your potential. This explanation made Zhou Fu instantly understand. Wang Feng was worthy of being called a veteran. However, this explanation wasn't concise enough. He should have just said that his body had been emptied. That would have been more direct. Understood. Well, if you understand, then have a good rest. I'll come and see you in 2 days. Wang Feng took 2 steps toward the door before he stopped. He was still a little worried, so he turned around and said, Don't try to be brave. It won't be good if you end up with an illness because of your age. Yes, I understand. Don't worry. Wang Feng nodded, turned around, and left. After leaving the house, Wang Feng felt that he had forgotten something. He stood in the yard for a while, and suddenly remembered that he had not asked Zhou Fu about the rolling stone palm. Oh, I almost forgot to ask such an important question. Could it be that I'm really getting old? He turned around and walked toward Zhou Fu's room. The door from before was not closed, so Wang Feng walked in directly. He walked around the screen in the living room, and just as he peeked out half of his head, he saw Zhou Fu's strange state. He was shocked by what he saw. This is, just as Wang Feng walked out of the door, Zhou Fu began to take deep breaths. Every time he took a deep breath, there was no more breath left in his body. Dong. The pulse of the Shinshu acupoint was strong and powerful. After every breath, Zhou Fu could clearly feel that his body had recovered a lot of strength. Damn, what's going on? Zhou Fu was also confused by this strange situation. He quickly opened the Flying Immortal's auxiliary interface while his body was still in the state of deep breath. So it's the eternal spring energy. After every deep breath, the cooldown of the eternal spring energy on the auxiliary interface would be reduced by a few minutes. Huff huff. After 10 breaths, Zhou Fu sat up. Although his back was still sore and weak, it was not as serious as before. When Wang Feng saw this scene, his face darkened. He thought that Zhou Fu did not listen to his advice and insisted on showing off. He lifted his foot and was about to go in and teach this disobedient kid a lesson. But just as he lifted his foot, he suddenly realized that Zhou Fu was not showing off. His body was rapidly recovering. Oh my God, is this kid really human? In the bedroom, Zhou Fu, who was sitting on the bed, took a deep breath. His chest quickly swelled up, and then he slowly exhaled. After repeating this more than 10 times, he could already walk around. Eternal spring energy, what a great eternal spring energy! Zhou Fu's eyes were full of surprise. This bug-like recovery was really an eye-opener for him. If I had this good thing back then, I could have. His surprised expression suddenly froze. He remembered that the little loli who gave him this technique seemed to have been living in Gui Xiang brothel. It doesn't seem so strange. Zhou Fu stretched his back and felt an indescribable comfort all over his body. After last night's battle, his martial arts had improved a lot. If he continued at this speed, after 3 or 4 more battles, he would be able to level up again. Just as Zhou Fu was about to grin, a voice shouted out before he could. Good boy! If I didn't see it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe that a person who overdraft his physical strength could get out of bed so quickly. This voice startled Zhou Fu. He looked at Wang Feng and said with a wry smile, Uncle Feng, I was almost scared to lie back down again. Wang Feng did not care about Zhou Fu's teasing. He walked to Zhou Fu's side and was about to reach out his hand to check, but he felt that something was wrong. He asked, Boy, do you mind if I check your body? This question made Zhou Fu want to hit someone. Being asked to check his body by a middle-aged uncle, although he knew that the other party had good intentions, it sounded quite awkward. Then I'll have to trouble you, Uncle Feng. Wang Feng was very satisfied with these words. Originally, he wanted to check Zhou Fu's body, but now Zhou Fu was asking for his help. The art of words was instantly displayed. Wang Feng placed his hand on Zhou Fu's wrist and smiled. Boy, you really know how to talk. You're worthy of being your father's son. Just as Zhou Fu was about to say something, he suddenly felt a trace of strange energy entering his body from his wrist. This was internal force. He suddenly widened his eyes and looked at Wang Feng. He excitedly asked, Uncle Feng? Uncle Feng, what's this? Wang Feng looked at Zhou Fu, who suddenly became excited, and asked, What is what? What do you want to ask? It's this. After saying that, Zhou Fu raised his wrist. Wang Feng instantly understood and smiled. This? Do you want to learn? The moment these words came out, Zhou Fu felt his heart pounding. Yes. Wang Feng grinned. Of course, let's do it. After saying that, he stood up and walked out while saying, Since young Master Zhou is fine, I won't stay any longer. When he reached the door, Wang Feng turned around and said with an annoying smile, Take your time to think. Looking at Wang Feng's disappearing back, Zhou Fu opened his mouth and finally spat out, What a cheap expression. Chapter 30. Over the next few days, Wang Feng witnessed Zhou Fu's stubbornness and shamelessness. Every day, Zhou Fu would appear in Wang Feng's small courtyard at certain times. He had a flattering smile on his face and asked about Wang Feng's well-being, as if Wang Feng was the one who was injured. Then, they would chat about their daily lives while inquiring about cultivation technique. After 3 days, Wang Feng couldn't take it anymore and wanted to slap him. Uncle Feng, have a taste. This is a chicken stewed with 100-year-old wild ginseng. Fruit trees are used as firewood, and it simmered over a small fire. It took a full 4 hours to finish stewing. Wang Feng looked at the small porcelain bowl in front of him. From the looks of it, it was definitely not cheap. According to Zhou Fu, it was taken from Zhou Datsai's collection. The thing in the porcelain bowl was even more extraordinary. The hen was the red-head golden feather chicken from the mountains. It was known as the walking ginseng. Needless to say, a ginseng that could enter the Zhou clan's treasury could not be bad. I say, am I the one who's injured, or are you the one who's injured? Zhou Fu, who was questioned by Wang Feng, wasn't embarrassed at all. Instead, he replied, Uncle Feng, this is all from your nephew's good intentions. Wang Feng sighed helplessly. Good, good. It's good intentions. It's good intentions. Tell me, what do you want so that you won't bring trouble to me? Hearing this, Zhou Fu's eyes instantly lit up. He, Uncle Feng, listen to what you're saying. I just want to know if I can learn the skill you used the other day. Wang Feng rolled his eyes in response. Wang Feng said, Don't bite off more than you can chew. You have to be realistic and learn the rolling stone palm first. I need the rolling stone palm as a foundation to learn that thing? What do you think? Zhou Fu was speechless. If he knew, he wouldn't have to chase after Wang Feng like a dog. No, he wouldn't have to chase after Wang Feng. Also, with the support, why would he need to worry about the technique? Wouldn't that be a slap to his face? Then, Uncle Feng, what level should I reach? Wang Feng pondered for a moment. In fact, his cultivation techniques were all passed down from his previous sect. Later on, he left the sect due to some matters, so he was in a very difficult position now. Well, I'll have to at least master thick earth force first. Thick earth strength? Is there anything special about thick earth strength? Wang Feng was very patient when it came to martial arts. He explained, thick earth force is the power of the earth. A palm strike would have the support of the earth's power, making the palm strike heavy and more powerful. That's what I want. This mysterious explanation made Zhou Fu a little confused, but he did not dare to interrupt the other party. Wang Feng raised his hand and pressed down on the ground beside him. Bang! A muffled sound came from the ground, and a palm print appeared on it. After the fight, Wang Feng looked at Zhou Fu proudly. I see. Zhou Fu stared at the palm print for a while. Just as Wang Feng had struck out with his palm, the support voice had sounded in his mind. Ding! You have received Wang Feng's martial arts experience. Rolling stone palm proficiency increased by 500. Along with the prompt, there was also a memory about thick earth force. After looking through the memories, Zhou Fu also understood why he felt a heavy feeling when he struck out with his palm. Uncle Feng, is this what you think? Wang Feng was stunned by Zhou Fu's question. Is this what you think? What? Holy shit! Zhou Fu slowly raised his right palm, and a heavy aura came from his palm. He flipped his palm and pressed down. Whoosh! A strong gust of wind swept the ground. Wang Feng's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. Is this Gene Force? This was King Sirius. When he fought with Zhou Fu that night, he thought that Zhou Fu had gained enlightenment after becoming a demon. Although he was shocked at that time, it was not to this extent. But now it was not just shock, but horror. Uncle Feng, is this what you think? Yes. Yes. The strange expression made Zhou Fu confused. What does this mean? You're the one who taught me rolling stone palm, why are you not confident in yourself? Uncle Feng, is this what you think? Wang Feng recovered from his shock. He looked at Zhou Fu with a complicated expression, but more than that, there was jealousy and envy. Yes, this is thick earth force. Zhou Fu fully displayed the spirit of not being ashamed to ask questions and continued to ask, then why can't I make a handprint? Wang Feng did not know how to answer this question. Why? That was because he had used his inner strength. But could he say that? Absolutely not. Thus, he made up an excuse. Do you even need to ask? It must be because your cultivation is not enough. As long as you continue to work hard and train your qi into your body, you can even shatter a giant rock with your palm, let alone a palm print. Shatter a giant rock? Wang Feng nodded seriously. He pointed at the fake mountain and said, that one. He looked at the fake mountain and then at his palm. Zhou Fu sucked in a cold breath. At the same time, he was very doubtful. Was the rolling stone palm really that powerful? But Wang Feng's serious expression did not look like he was lying. Zhou Fu believed this honest man who stuttered when he lied. Seeing that Zhou Fu agreed with him, Wang Feng heaved a sigh of relief. This did not mean that the rolling stone palm was not that powerful, but that it was very difficult to train qi into the body. Could it be that he had not achieved it? Even his master had not achieved it. As for why he said that, on one hand, it was to cover up his lie. On the other hand, he had been deceived in the past. Such a good tradition must be passed down. Zhou Fu quickly recovered from his shock and asked, "Uncle Feng, now that I have met the requirements, can you teach me the technique?" Wang Feng's expression froze, and his heart skipped a beat. This question really stumped him. The technique is not easily taught. Yes, I understand. Zhou Fu nodded repeatedly. He had read about this from novels and movies. If you really want to learn, you have to join my sect. Okay. Come on, how do I join? Wang Feng was dumbfounded again. Were all the young people nowadays so reckless? This was joining the sect and becoming a disciple. Where else would they go for lunch? Kid, this is becoming a disciple. Once you join the sect, you can't betray it. Otherwise, you will be hunted down by the sect and despised by the world. Yes, I know. Come on. Do I have to become your disciple? I will kowtow to you now. Before he finished speaking, Zhou Fu's knees went soft and he was about to kneel down. Hey! What are you doing? This gave Wang Feng a fright. He quickly dodged to the side and waved his left hand. A gust of wind blew Zhou Fu up. With Zhou Fu's current talent, he did not dare to accept him as a disciple. Although he also wanted to find a genius, he was sure that he did not have the ability to teach a genius like Zhou Fu. You don't have to become my disciple. I will accept you on behalf of my master. Also, you have to think carefully. Yes, I have. Come on. Oh, okay, come with me. Zhou Fu followed Wang Feng to his room. There was an offering table on the left side of the room. There was a painting on the wall. It was a man who looked to be about 30 years old. This is my master, the peak master of the Heaven Yuan sect's humble peak, Li Guifan. Since you have decided to join the sect, kneel down and kowtow. Zhou Fu lifted his robe and knelt down. Disciple Zhou Fu greets master. Bang, bang, bang. Begging for recommendations. Begging for treasure. Chapter 31. Greetings, senior brother. Zhou Fu bowed to Wang Feng with a sneaky smile. You little brat. Zhou Fu's smile made Wang Feng speechless. Before, he had a respectful expression, but now, his seniority had risen and he was even more mischievous. If you have something to say, then say it. Zhou Fu didn't care about Wang Feng's tone at all. Right now, he only wanted the technique. Only power could give him a sense of security. Ever since he came to this world, Zhou Fu hadn't had a peaceful day. On the first day, he saw a steel blade. If it wasn't for Wang Feng's quick arrival, he would have been dead by now. Then, he was plotted against by his cousin. Zhou Fu, who had just been provoked by the men in black, was almost scared to death. Luckily, he had already used a cheat and upgraded his martial arts. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had a good ending. Also, that night, the cold light from Da, whose hand almost turned him into a pile of bones. He didn't want to feel that kind of helplessness and fear again. He didn't want others to decide his fate. He wanted to become stronger than anyone else. Senior brother, now that I have a master, shouldn't you teach me the technique? Looking at Zhou Fu's expectant eyes, Wang Feng was silent. After a while, he said, I can't. Zhou Fu felt his heart twitch. The smile on his face froze. He stuttered, Senior brother, please don't joke around. Wang Feng sighed. Junior brother Zhou, I let you join Humble Peak because you've trained the rolling stone palm to the Ruging stage. It's also my fault. I didn't think that you would be able to train the earthly force. If you didn't become my disciple, then I could only take back your rolling stone palm. Take back? At this moment, Zhou Fu felt an emptiness in his heart. He couldn't go up to the sky or down to the ground. The feeling of powerlessness spread from his chest to his back. His arms were numb, and so were his cheeks. The smile on Zhou Fu's face had already disappeared. He tried his best to make his voice sound calm. Then how can I practice that technique? Wang Feng stared at Zhou Fu's expression and felt upset. Shangzhua Peak might be able to learn it. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Silence. Is that so? Then I won't disturb senior brother's rest. Goodbye. When Zhou Fu stepped out of the room, Wang Feng said, Inner strength. What I used before was internal strength. Zhou Fu stopped and did not turn around. Inner force is cultivated through special training methods and combined with moves, just like thick earth force. Zhou Fu's eyes lit up. This meant that if he used the rolling stone palm together with the corresponding training method, he would be able to cultivate qi. Junior brother Zhou, this is all I can say. Thank you, senior brother. Bang. The door closed. A sigh sounded in the room. On the way back to his courtyard, Zhou Fu tried to recall Wang Feng's words. Martial arts required a training method to cultivate qi. He seemed to have seen a training method before. It was in one of the secret manuals. Eternal Spring Force. With a flash of inspiration, a vague memory appeared in his mind. He hurriedly ran back to his courtyard. Because of the assistance, after he obtained the secret manuals, he only read them once and then stopped. Now that he thought about it, he seemed to have missed out on a lot of things. Walala Zhou Fu quickly flipped through the secret manual page by page. Found it! On the last 2 pages of the Eternal Spring Force manual, there were a total of 5 pictures. On each picture there was a small person. On the small person's body, there was a different pattern drawn with a red pen. Beside the picture, there was a note that explained the sequence of the practice. After he finished reading Eternal Spring Force, Zhou Fu took out the other secret manuals and looked through them. The sword steps is not here. Bronze armor is not here. Rolling stone palm. Damn, it's here? On the last night of Rolling Stone Palm there was a picture. This picture was different from Eternal Spring Force's stance training. Instead, it had the lines of the mountain splitter stance. It doesn't look like it's for training qi. It looks more like it's for increasing attack power. Forget it, let's try Eternal Spring Force first. Zhou Fu first memorized the picture and then got into position. He thought about the notes and main points on the secret manual and slowly adjusted his body. Huff huff as he inhaled and exhaled, a strange feeling rose from his feet. Several small streams of heat slowly flowed through his body. That's the feeling. Zhou Fu carefully controlled the direction of the heat flow, circulating his energy in strict accordance with the route on the diagram. After one cycle, Zhou Fu slowly stopped. This feeling is not bad. My whole body is warm and it seems like I've recovered some of my energy. This is really good stuff. After he sighed, he called out the support interface and found that Eternal Spring Force's cooldown had decreased a little. Other than that, there were no other changes. Zhou Fu instantly felt unhappy. You're a cheat. You can't even learn something like this. Isn't this too embarrassing for a cheat? No matter how much Zhou Fu complained, there was no response from the Fairy Realm's support. After closing the support interface, Zhou Fu's excitement disappeared a lot. He thought about what happened in Wang Feng's house and felt unhappy again. Fine, I won't teach you. Damn it, without you, Butcher Wang, I have to eat pigs with hair? Next, I need a weapon. Let's go to the old man's house and see how he reacts. After leaving the courtyard, Zhou Fu went straight to his father's study. Dad, I'm here to see you. Head, don't give me that. Tell me, what's the matter? Zhou Fu laughed and said, It's like this. Did we catch that bandit called Daho? Zhou Ducai raised his eyebrows and asked, Why are you asking this? There's something I want to ask him. Oh? Is it about Zhou Ji? Zhou Fu shook his head and said, I'm not his father. I don't care if he lives or dies. Zhou Ducai narrowed his eyes and said in a deep voice, That's your cousin. The mastermind behind the ambush in the alley should be my cousin, right? And yesterday that kid actually tricked me into going to the outskirts of the city. I treat him as my cousin, but does he treat me as his cousin? Zhou Ducai stared at Zhou Fu for a while and suddenly laughed. You kid? Fine, that Dahu is in our dungeon. If you want to go, ask old Ma to take you there. Okay, you go ahead. I won't disturb you. Seeing Zhou Fu run out, Zhou Ducai laughed and said, This kid? By the way, Consecrator Wang, did Fu or make you unhappy? Wang Feng's figure emerged from the shadows. He shook his head and said, No. That's good. If that little bastard annoyed you, just tell me. I will definitely teach him a lesson. No, although he said so, in his heart, Wang Feng rolled his eyes. He sneered and said, Teach him a lesson? With your protective nature, who are you trying to fool? Zhou family's dungeon. Zhou Fu frowned as soon as he went down. Not only was it dark and damp, but it was also not ventilated. All kinds of strange smells filled the entire dungeon. When the accompanying guard saw Zhou Fu's expression, he hurriedly flattered, Eldest young master, if you have something to tell us to do, we can do it. This place is too dirty, I'm afraid it will dirty your eyes. Zhou Fu shook his head and said, It's okay. It's just this time. Next time I have something to tell you. This time, the guard's face was full of smiles. It was great luck to be able to curry favor with Zhou Fu. Maybe they would be able to leave this damn place soon. Young master, in front is the place where Dahu is being held. Please recommend, please search, thank you everyone. Chapter 32. This was an independent cell with walls on all sides and only one iron door to enter and exit. In the room, there was a flickering light on the left and right walls, making the place seem lifeless. When Zhou Fu walked in, the guard quickly took 4 torches and stuck them on the 2 walls, making the room much brighter. In the center of the room was a large wooden frame made of high-quality ironwood. It was moisture-proof and had a hardness comparable to steel. At this time, Big Tiger was trapped on the frame. His limbs were first tied with cow tendons, then tied with hemp rope, and finally locked with iron chains. This level of security made Zhou Fu's eyes twitch. The guard held a whip in his hand and stood beside Zhou Fu. He smiled and said, Young master, ask whatever you want. I'll make him talk. Big Tiger, who had been tortured, raised his head with difficulty. When he saw Zhou Fu, he grinned, revealing his bloody teeth. Boy, it's you. You're lucky that I didn't kill you that day. Slap. A gray shadow flashed by, and Big Tiger let out a blood-curdling scream. A bloody whip mark instantly appeared on his face. The guard on the side put away the whip and said with a grim smile, Boy, if you can't recognize your current situation, I don't mind helping you wake up. Big Tiger was also a fierce bandit. Even though he was beaten to this extent, he was still full of pride. Bah! You dog! In the past, you wouldn't even dare to appear beside Grandpa. King. Seeing that the guard was about to raise the whip again, Zhou Fu reached out and stopped him. Okay, don't hit him. This person has a hard bone. It's useless to hit him. Ha 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 ha. Boy, you have good eyesight. You know Grandpa's bone structure. That's right, Grandpa has a hard bone. Zhou Fu said to the guard, Go and prepare 5 buckets of water and a ladle for me. Yes. Although this order made the guard very confused, it was from young Master Zhou, so he had to strictly carry it out. Big Tiger sneered, What? You want to drown me? Zhou Fu shook his head, No hurry. Humph, show me what you've got. Grandpa, just you wait. Not long after, several guards came in with the things that Zhou Fu wanted. Young master, we've brought everything you wanted. What should we do next? Zhou Fu asked, Can this frame be put down? The guard nodded and said, Yes. Thus, under Zhou Fu's command, The Imperial bodyguards placed Big Tiger down. Its body was slanted, its head was lowered, and its feet were raised. Young master, it's done. What should we do next? Zhou Fu waved his hand and said, Go out and guard outside. Don't come in without my permission. The guard froze for a moment, then nodded and said, All right, I'll be right outside. If you need anything, just knock on the door. Shouting won't get out. Zhou Fu was stunned when he heard these words. He immediately understood that the guard wanted to say that this place was very secluded and that no one outside could hear. All right, I'll get Steward Ma to reward you later. Thank you, young master. Please take your time to ask. If you need anything, just let me know. Bang. The iron door was slammed shut. Kid, if you have any tricks, just use them. If Grandpa frowns, I'm your grandson. Oh? Really? Nonsense, Grandpa is an indomitable spirit. I mean what I say. Zhou Fu walked over with a smirk and reached out to poke the corner of Big Tiger's eye. Big Tiger was so shocked that he quickly blinked. Big Tiger was speechless. Zhou Fu was speechless. Bastard. Go F*** King die. How dare you play a child's game with Grandpa? Zhou Fu smiled and said, I have no choice. If I use adult means, I'm afraid you won't recognize it. Big Tiger was silent for a moment, then he flew into a rage. Bastard, are you looking down on me? Ha 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 ha. You're really stupid. Humph. Don't play games with Grandpa. Ask me whatever you want. Zhou Fu's face turned serious and said in a deep voice, If that's the case, I won't hold back. The saber technique you used before was pretty good. I like it. Big Tiger was stunned, then he laughed wildly. Ha 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 ha. I see. You actually like Grandpa's chasing wind saber. Ha 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 ha. Are you done laughing? Bah. You dog, how dare you learn Grandpa's chasing wind saber? Just give up. Zhou Fu stared into Big Tiger's eyes and asked again, I'll ask you one last time. Are you going to tell me or not? Don't say once. Even if you ask 10 times, 100 times, or 1,000 times, Grandpa's answer will be the same. Then you can give up on that idea. Zhou Fu nodded. Okay, you're tough enough. Ha 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 ha, Grandpa is tough. You have to remember this, kid. Whoosh, a bucket of cold water splashed him. Ba 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 uf** king. Zhou Fu splashed a ladle of water on his face, and then took off his coat to cover him up. He scooped out another scoop of water from the bucket and looked down at Big Tiger's struggling body. The expression in his eyes was very complicated. Brat, you'll die a horrible death. If Grandpa comes out, I'll chop off your limbs and *ck you to death. Zhou Fu's eyes suddenly glared, and a murderous aura emerged. Good. You're stubborn, aren't you? Whoosh. A scoop of water splashed him. Whoosh. As the cold water continued to splash, Big Tiger's body twitched more and more violently, even if the tendons on his body had been strangled into his flesh, and dark red blood continued to flow out. Ugh. When Big Tiger's struggle weakened, Zhou Fu took off his soaked clothes. He looked at Big Tiger's red and purple face, and his own face turned pale. Zhou Fu took a deep breath and asked sternly, Tell me, where is the saber manual? Big Tiger responded weakly, Devil, you're a devil. The saber manual. Bah! Big Tiger's resistance once again aroused Zhou Fu's murderous aura. He swung his hand and covered him with his clothes again. Whoosh! Whoa! Scoop after scoop of cold water poured down, and Big Tiger was tortured by the water torture. When the second bucket of water reached the bottom, Big Tiger gave in. I'll tell you, bang! Zhou Fu was also breathing heavily. He turned his hand and threw the scoop into the bucket. Water torture was a cruel and inhumane punishment in history. It could be traced back to the Middle Ages. It was a punishment used by religious heresy inquisitors to deal with heretics. It was not banned until the early 21st century. And now, this kind of torture had appeared in this world through his hands. It was as if a demon had come to the world. Where is the saber manual? Big Tiger quickly gave an address. It's in the box by the bed, really. Zhou Fu threw the scoop and said, I'll go get it now. If it's not there, I'll come back for you. Bang! The dungeon door was locked again. Chapter 33. East of the City. Bluestone Alley. This was the address he got from Big Tiger. Young master, we're here. Zhou Fu got off the carriage and looked at the gray and shabby door. He frowned. The door wasn't closed. Was there someone living inside? Zhou Fu came to the door and looked inside through the crack. The small yard was in full view. What's going on? Why does it look like we've been robbed? The yard was in a mess. All kinds of things were thrown everywhere. He carefully opened the door and walked in. This was a yard. Facing the door, there were 3 rooms side by side. This was the main room. On the right side of the main room, there were 2 small rooms. They looked like a kitchen and a woodshed. At this time, the doors of the 5 rooms were open. There were a lot of things scattered in front of each room. Damn, I didn't come here for nothing, right? The scene in the yard made Zhou Fu's mood a little heavy. His mood, which was not very sunny, was once again covered with a layer of haze. Is it so hard for me to find a cultivation technique? Zhou Fu's face was gloomy. He walked through the yard and opened the door of the main room. The room was not big. Standing at the door, he could clearly see the situation inside. He looked around and suddenly found a person lying on the bed. The person was lying on his side, facing inside. It looked like he was asleep. Someone was here? Zhou Fu stared at the person's back and pondered for a few breaths. Then, he quietly walked over. When he came to the bed, the person on the bed showed no signs of waking up. He turned his head and looked at the box next to him. According to Big Tiger's instructions, the Chasing Wind Blade manual was inside. Should he take it or not? Zhou Fu was very conflicted. If he took it, he would have to capture the person on the bed. This made his conscience feel bad. But if he didn't take it, he would not be satisfied. Take it. If I don't take it, I will be punished. Zhou Fu struggled in his heart for a long time. In the end, he decided to take the saber manual. He really didn't want to feel the feeling of being surrounded by death. He wanted to become strong. After making up his mind, Zhou Fu took a deep breath and extended his hand toward the figure on the bed. Just as he was about to touch the person's back, the person on the bed moved. F***ck. The body on the bed began to tremble. Then, the tremors grew stronger and stronger. Zhou Fu was so shocked that he took 2 steps back. Bang! The man abruptly turned over, and his face fell into Zhou Fu's eyes. F***ck. Zhou Fu's eyes instantly widened, and a burst of cold air rose from the soles of his feet, rushing straight to the top of his head. The person lying on the bed was not a living person. It was a corpse. In the middle of the corpse there seemed to be a clear dividing line that extended from the head to the lower abdomen. The left half of the line, which was the side of the heart, was badly rotten. White bones could be seen in the dark red flesh. The right side of the line was greenish-gray, and the skin and flesh were intact. What made Zhou Fu even more disgusted and scared was that black and white worms were constantly drilling in and out of the left half of the corpse. Listening quietly, there was a dense and small sound. F***ck. Zhou Fu's face turned white. This strange corpse constantly attacked his senses, and layers of goosebumps exploded on his body. The air in his stomach surged up, and a sour smell went straight into his nose, tormenting him so much that he wanted to turn around and run out. No, I have already reached this step. I must get the saber manual. Zhou Fu gritted his teeth and took off his robe to wrap his hands. He rushed to the side of the box, grabbed the box with both hands, turned around and rushed out of the room. Bang! He threw the box on the ground and held his knees with both hands, gasping for breath. Zhou Fu looked back at the room, and his scalp tingled again. Damn, I was scared to death, but fortunately, I finally got the box. Let me see where the saber manual is. This was a dark red box, as if it had been there for a long time. The box was not locked, but there was a copper handle on the left and right side. It's better that it's not locked. It saves me the trouble. Zhou Fu reached out to open the box, but at the moment his hand was about to touch the box, he stopped. I seem to remember that there should be traps here. It's better to be careful. Scenes from movies and TV series came to his mind, and Zhou Fu suddenly became vigilant. He found a wooden stick in the yard, shook his right hand, and the wooden stick smashed the box. The box hit the ground, the lid opened, and the things inside tumbled out. Zhou Fu opened his eyes wide and searched with the wooden stick bit by bit. Where's the book? Where's the saber manual? The box was not big, and the things inside were limited. He even looked through the pieces of cloth inside twice, but the result was not even a fart. Standing in the yard, Zhou Fu was a little stunned. From Wang Feng to Da Hu, these two people gave him one surprise after another today. At the same time, they also let him know one thing. It was not easy to get the technique, and it was hard to find the real skill. Hee, this is really interesting. Zhou Fu suddenly laughed and cursed, then turned and left. After leaving the Bluestone Alley, Zhou Fu did not go home. He asked the coachman to send him to Heng Yun Casino. Young master, you're here. The casino's manager, Liaohuan, greeted Zhou Fu when he got off the carriage. Well, the shelves in the yard are all set up? When Zhou Fu was practicing saber steps, he had broken the target in the yard, so he asked Liaohuan to find someone to make a new one, bigger and sturdier than the previous one. Young master, don't worry, the target has been set up according to your instructions. Coming to the yard, Zhou Fu looked at the target that was bigger than before and was very satisfied. This one in front of him should be enough for him to trample on for a long time. Not bad, Manager Liao, I've troubled you. Young master, you flatter me. This is what I should do. If young master has nothing else, I'll go ahead and do my work. Liaohuan knew that Zhou Fu liked peace and quiet, and liked to practice martial arts. Therefore, after showing the results of his task, he said goodbye. This was the professionalism of a casino manager for decades. Manager Liao, take care. Zhou Fu was left alone in the yard. He called out the support interface and looked at the cooldown time of Eternal Spring Energy and Bronze Armor Art. He whispered, "It's better to rely on myself than to rely on others. I have support, so what's there to worry about? Isn't it just a little bit at the beginning? What's the big deal? Zhou Fu, oh Zhou Fu, let's keep a low profile and develop. When we have equipment and level up, we'll go out and kill them." After drinking a few cups of chicken soup, Zhou Fu's fighting spirit was reignited. Looking at the brand new wooden target, he whispered, "Do it, Mountain Splitter." Boom. The target made a muffled sound, and the small courtyard became lively again. 15 days later. Mountain Splitter. Zhou Fu punched out. In his body, a strong force flowed into his arm, making his already thick arm even thicker. Boom. Under the bombardment of his fist, the sturdy wooden target instantly broke, and the upper half flew out. Zhou Fu opened the support interface. At this time, the cooldown time and proficiency of Bronze Armor Art, Eternal Spring Energy, and Mountain Breaking Fist were all ready. He could level up at any time. This was the result of his 10 days of hard work. Come, prepare some hot water for me. Yes. Chapter 34. After entering the bathroom and closing the door, Zhou Fu took off all his clothes. Looking at his auxiliary machine, he was very satisfied. This is the dream of my previous life. After sighing, Zhou Fu used the first picture of the Eternal Spring Force. His inner chi, which was as thick as a strand of hair, began to move in his meridians. Before leveling up, Zhou Fu needed to adjust his condition, and the first stance of the Eternal Spring Force met his requirements. As for why he only used the first one, Zhou Fu had tried them one by one before. Only the first stance could condense his inner chi, the other 4 pictures did not respond, so he could only use the first stance. After circulating his inner qi in his meridians for a full cycle, Zhou Fu called out the auxiliary system and began to level up. Ding! The eternal spring force has leveled up successfully. Current level, level 30. Cooldown, 90 days. As the skill leveled up, strands of inner qi, which were as thick as chopsticks, entered his meridians and circulated rapidly along the first picture. Soon, Zhou Fu lost his ability to control and guide his inner strength. His eyes widened, his face turned red, and he began to panic. The rapidly circulating inner qi was like a flood that was about to break through the dam. It surged forward violently, and the momentum was still increasing. Zhou Fu felt like he was about to explode. The second picture. In desperation, an idea flashed through his mind. The other stances did not respond. Was it because he did not have enough inner qi? I have to hold on. Don't explode. Zhou Fu endured the swelling pain in his meridians and changed his posture, assuming the posture of the second picture. Boom! As soon as Zhou Fu set up the pole, the internal force that was colliding in his body found a vent. Without Zhou Fu's control and guidance, it began to rotate along the route marked in the second diagram. This made Zhou Fu feel like he was driving a car from a rural provincial road to a highway, and it was the kind that ignored the toll checkpoints. Every checkpoint in the meridians was an important acupoint. According to the eternal spring energy, every acupoint had to be carefully polished and opened slowly. Otherwise, it would be easy to lose control of one's inner strength, and the meridians would not be able to bear the burden. However, none of this existed for Zhou Fu. His surging inner strength had the aura of being able to kill anything that stood in his way. This was something that others had to be extremely careful of. However, Zhou Fu was stunned for a moment and understood everything. Bang bang bang! A series of noises came from his body. That was the sound of internal force breaking through a bottleneck. All sorts of sensations stimulated Zhou Fu's brain, causing his expression to become very strange. I was almost broken by this thing. After his inner strength had passed through the meridians of the second stance, the momentum had also slowed down. Zhou Fu had also regained control of his inner strength and body. The gentle inner strength slowly moved through the two meridians, like a spring rain, nourishing Zhou Fu's body. Damn, this thing is really scary. If that uncontrollable state had continued for another 10 minutes, my family would have started a banquet today. Zhou Fu wiped the sweat from his forehead. The inner strength in his body that was originally as thin as a strand of hair had become as thick as a chopstick. He even opened up a new meridian. He grinned, damn, this wave was worth it. At this time, the haze in his heart had mostly dispersed, and his whole body was emitting a relaxed feeling. Strike while the iron is hot. Bronze armor art level up. Ding. Bronze armor art level up successful. Current level, 30. Cooldown time, 90 days. As the voice of the support finished, Zhou Fu's body suddenly sank. His muscles seemed to have become firmer. He waved his arms and felt an endless amount of energy surging out of his body. Other than that, there was no other abnormality. That's strange. Why doesn't it hurt this time? Just now, even the gentle eternal spring force was so violent after leveling up. On the other hand, the previously violent bronze armor art had become calm and peaceful. His body had only sunk a little. Zhou Fu scratched his head in confusion. He really couldn't understand. He was already prepared to be tortured to the point of death, but in the end, nothing happened. It's a good thing that I'm not being tortured, but why do I suddenly feel a little uncomfortable? Forget it, let's take a bath. Walking to the side of the bathtub, Zhou Fu stepped on the stool with his right foot and slightly exerted force. Gotcha! Bang! The originally sturdy wooden stool was stepped into pieces by his foot. Zhou Fu looked at his foot and then looked at the corpse on the wooden stool. He was completely stunned. No way, I didn't use any strength. What's going on? Could it be that the side effects of leveling up came again? Forget it, let's take a bath first. I'll get someone to make a sturdy one. Since the wooden stool was gone, he used his hands to support himself on the edge of the bathtub. He exerted force in his arms, and was about to flip into the bathtub. All he heard was the sound of the bathtub cracking. The sturdy bathtub wall broke from the middle. Then, with a bang, more than half of the bathtub wall was completely crushed by Zhou Fu. All the warm water in the bathtub gushed out. F***ck, did I just see a ghost? Zhou Fu had no choice but to use the water in the bathtub next to him to rinse himself. After drying himself, he put on his clothes and walked out. At this time, the servants who heard the commotion outside the door were already waiting at the door. When they saw Zhou Fu walk out, they hurriedly asked, "Young master, are you okay?" "I'm fine." Zhou Fu shook his head, then ordered, "Go and find a craftsman to come over and make a pool in this room. In the future, I'll bathe in the pool. Oh yes, and hurry up and prepare food for me." After he finished speaking, he left behind a group of dumbfounded servants and returned to his room. "I'm so hungry." Zhou Fu had just sat on the chair for a while, but he felt so hungry that he could eat a cow. Even the kettle on the table had been emptied by 2 whole kettles. Zhou Fu roughly estimated that there seemed to be 4 caddies of water. He drank 4 caddies of water in 10 minutes, but he didn't feel anything. If it was in the past, he would probably have started to vomit. What's the situation? Why do I feel that something is wrong with me? Just as Zhou Fu was about to fall into contemplation, the maids came in with food. These things were prepared in advance, so it was so fast. Gulp! A loud sound came from Zhou Fu's stomach, attracting the attention of the people around him. But at this time, Zhou Fu didn't care so much. From the moment he saw the food, he almost couldn't resist the impulse in his heart and wanted to pounce on it. "No, let's eat first." A rice bowl the same size as Zhou Fu's palm was held in his hand. Quang! Quang! After 2 big mouthfuls, there were only some rice grains left in the bowl. More rice. The dumbfounded maid on the side suddenly trembled and quickly took the empty bowl. After filling it, she put it in front of Zhou Fu. The maid muttered in her heart, "Is this still a human? Such a big bowl of rice, and he finished it in 2 mouthfuls. It's so scary. Speaking of which, the young master won't eat people, right?" Zhou Fu didn't notice the maid's look. At this time, he was going crazy with hunger. He originally thought that he would feel better after a bowl of rice, but strangely, he was even hungrier. More rice. Bang. More rice. Bang. "Forget it, bring me the bucket." After 3 bowls, Zhou Fu was a little impatient. He grabbed the bucket of rice and poured the meat in the plate into it. He picked up the spoon with his right hand and stuffed it into his mouth. Young master, if you eat like this, you will eat yourself bad." Although the maid who had already hidden away was afraid, she still reminded Zhou Fu not to do this. Zhou Fu, who was eating crazily, didn't seem to hear the maid's reminder. He lowered his head and ate crazily. It wasn't until the rice in the bucket was empty that he breathed a sigh of relief. He wasn't full, but he wasn't that hungry. "Young master, are you okay?" Zhou Fu raised his head and glanced at the maid. This glance scared her so much that she almost cried. Her legs were trembling. "I'm fine. By the way, how many people can eat in this bucket?" 10 people. Zhou Fu was speechless. He hurriedly touched his stomach. It wasn't bloated, and there was nothing unusual. Damn, have I upgraded to a rice bucket? There were 6 dishes on the table, plus a bucket of rice and 4 caddies of water from before. These things all went into Zhou Fu's stomach in half an hour, and he didn't feel full. No wonder the little maid was afraid. She was afraid that he would eat people in the next second. "Leave, I'm full." Yes, the maid didn't go forward. Instead, she called 2 people from outside the house. The 3 of them quickly packed their things and ran away as if they were escaping. Zhou Fu was speechless. "Damn, I'm not going to eat people. What are you afraid of?" Originally, there were 2 chapters a day. However, there were some things going on these 2 days, so the missing chapters would be made up over the weekend. Also, please recommend me to bookmark. Chapter 35. I feel like I've gotten heavier. Zhou Fu sat down on the stone steps, feeling puzzled. Just a moment ago, he had been lying in a recliner. When he gently turned over, the recliner had cracked open. After that incident, he no longer had any illusions that the sturdy furniture in his house could bear his weight. Zhou Fu wasn't the only one with such thoughts. Even the servants in the house thought the same. It was time for breakfast. The servants brought in a low table for Zhou Fu, who was sitting on the stone steps, to eat. The height was just right. Sigh. Zhou Fu looked at the servants placing steamers of buns on the table. He sighed in melancholy. I really can eat more. The fist-sized meat buns flowed into Zhou Fu's stomach like water. 1 steamer, 2 steamers, a total of 5 steamers of buns were eaten by him. This made the servants standing by the side feel bloated. How much did our young master eat? 5 steamers. Oh my God, how many buns are there? There are 5 buns in 1 steamer. Each bun is 2 ounces of fillings, which is half a kilogram. Young master just ate 5 kilograms of buns. Oh my God! Shu, lower your voice. Oh. Zhou Fu heard the whispers around him clearly. He didn't do it on purpose. Ever since he had a breakthrough in Eternal Spring Force, his senses had been getting stronger. Eternal Spring Force wasn't the only one that had undergone such changes. Bronze armor skill was the same. After waking up in the morning, Zhou Fu could clearly feel that his skin had become tougher. His muscles were also firmer than the night before. The lines on his arms, stomach, and thighs were more obvious. They were sharp and angular, and each of them seemed to contain great strength. It seems that leveling up in the future will be like this. I'll level up to the max first, and then my body will slowly adapt. I just don't know how long this change will last. To Zhou Fu, this was the best way to level up. Compared to the previous berserk mode, he preferred this kind of quiet way. His body was growing stronger at every moment. This kind of change was slow, giving Zhou Fu a lot of time to buffer. It also made it easier for him to control and use his own strength. After Zhou Fu roughly understood the changes in his body, he devoted his energy to familiarizing himself with his body and practicing his inner strength. Every day, he increased the proficiency of his mountain-breaking fist and practiced the mountain-splitting stances force exertion technique. When he was tired from training, he would stand in a stance and increase his proficiency with Eternal Spring Force. He could also condense his inner force. His days were filled with joy. After a few days of practice, Zhou Fu was pleasantly surprised to find that after his Eternal Spring Force leveled up, his recovery ability had become even stronger. Training the mountain splitter caused his meridians to swell and his muscles to ache. But as long as he circulated the Eternal Spring Force for 2 cycles, he would be fine. Moreover, the recovery of his stamina was even more ridiculous, allowing Zhou Fu to squander his stamina as much as he wanted. Of course, there was a price to pay. After all, there was no free lunch in the world. The price for this was that he could eat even more. Zhou Fu's gluttony attracted Zhou Datsai's attention. Zhou Datsai did not believe in heresy and called Zhou Fu over for dinner. He did not know the details, but the servants said that their master's appetite had decreased a lot from that day onwards. When this matter reached Zhou Fu's ears, he just smiled and immersed himself in cultivation in the blink of an eye. Time passed, and in the blink of an eye 10 days passed. In the Zhou family, other than second old master Zhou Diyun, who was very anxious and angry because his son was kidnapped by a mysterious person, the others acted as usual. Morning. After Zhou Fu finished his morning training, he ate his breakfast and thought, my body has already completely adapted to the state after leveling up. I can now use the mountain splitter stance of mountain breaking fist at will. The increase in bronze armor art is even more ridiculous. It's time to meet that person. Zhou Fu's eyes flashed with a hint of gloominess and fierceness. After more than 10 days of training like a demon, he thought that he would forget some things. Who knew that after training for a while, the anger that Zhou Fu suppressed in the bottom of his heart gushed out like a volcanic eruption. After breakfast, Zhou Fu asked a servant to bring him a steel knife and went straight to the dungeon. "Yo, young master, what brings you here today? Just tell me what to do." The dungeon guard had changed. The guard who led Zhou Fu had been transferred to another place to enjoy his life by the head butler. This matter made the dungeon guards very excited, so when they saw Zhou Fu, they swarmed over, all wanting to leave a good impression. Seeing this scene, Zhou Fu smiled and asked, "Is that big tiger still alive?" The guard quickly replied, "He's alive, he's alive. Not only is he alive, he's living very well. Even the wounds on his body have healed." Zhou Fu's eyes flashed. This was just right. It was exactly what he wanted. "Bring him up." "Yes." The guard hurriedly nodded, but when he was halfway through, he froze and turned back in surprise. "This, young master, you just said, that's right. Bring Big Tiger up." This put the guard in a difficult position. Every prisoner in this dungeon was not ordinary. It could be said that they were all ferocious characters with strong offensive capabilities and lethality. If they were released, who knew what kind of trouble they would cause? He did not want to bear this responsibility and risk. "Go, don't worry. My Zhou clan's guardian is still in the estate." Speaking of the guardian, Zhou Fu's eyes flashed with an indescribable light. Wang Feng, who wanted to come to his small courtyard 3 times a day, had not seen him since that day. It was as if he was deliberately avoiding him. Hearing Zhou Fu's words, the guard was instantly relieved. It had to be known that most of the people in the dungeon were caught by the guardian. Since he could catch them once, he could definitely catch them a second time. "Yes, young master, please wait a moment. This little one will be back soon." The guard took out the key from his waist and led a few of his followers into the dungeon. At this time, Zhou Fu ordered the maid beside him, "Go and prepare a table of food and wine. Just the normal ones will be fine." "Yes." After the maid left for a while, a sound came from the dungeon. Creak as the heavy dungeon door opened, the guard took the lead and walked out with iron chains. Following closely was Big Tiger, whose hands and feet were chained and whose neck was shackled. Outside the dungeon, the sun shone down. Big Tiger squinted his eyes and took a deep breath of fresh air. "It's been a long time since you saw the sun, right?" A familiar voice sounded. Big Tiger turned his head to look. When he saw the person who spoke, he was shocked. You're actually still alive." Big Tiger paused and changed the topic. "I didn't expect it to be you. I thought I would never see you again." Zhou Fu was not surprised by Big Tiger's words. He smiled and said, "Are you disappointed that I'm still alive to see you?" Big Tiger laughed awkwardly, but from his eyes, one could see that he approved of Zhou Fu's words. "Ha, how could I?" Both of them did not mention the sword manual, although they both wanted to know what the other was thinking. "Young master, the food is here." 2 maids came in with food boxes. The guard at the side was very perceptive as he brought over a table and a stool. After the food and wine were placed, Zhou Fu held the sword in his right hand and sat on the chair. He waved to the guard and said, "Take off the chains and shackles." Go. "Yes." Big Tiger looked at Zhou Fu in surprise. When the chains and shackles were removed, he stretched his body and asked, "What do you mean by this? Are you going to let me go?" Zhou Fu shook his head and pointed to the food and said, "Eat first." Big Tiger squinted his eyes. "You're not going to poison me, are you? Your life is not worth the money of poison." Big Tiger's face suddenly flashed a trace of anger. He stared at Zhou Fu for a while, then nodded and said, "Okay, then I'll see what tricks you're playing. Dear dads, please search for me, please recommend me. The chapters 10 will be made up tomorrow." Chapter 36. Big Tiger stood in front of Zhou Fu and glanced condescendingly at the seated Zhou Fu, then looked at the long sword in his right hand. He sneered, "That's not how you hold a sword." What surprised him was that Zhou Fu, who was originally obsessed with the sword manual and had even used torture to force the sword manual out of him, was not affected at all after hearing this. Big Tiger, who was asking for a snub, snorted coldly and took a sip of the wine. Sigh. Big Tiger, who had not touched wine for more than 20 days, breathed a long sigh of relief. "This is 20 years old, right? I remember that I was fortunate enough to be rewarded with a cup by the boss. This is the second time I've tasted this. It's so good." Big Tiger narrowed his eyes and savored the mellow taste in his mouth. "By the way, are you going to kill me later?" Zhou Fu nodded and said, "Yes." Heh. Big Tiger did not take this answer seriously. Instead, he asked with a faint mocking tone, "You know how to use a sword?" Zhou Fu shook his head. "Stop talking nonsense. Hurry up and eat. We'll be on our way after eating." "Huh? Are you in a hurry?" "Ha ha ha ha." Big Tiger laughed for a while, then reached out and grabbed the plate. He did not use chopsticks, but grabbed the food with his hands and ate. Bam! Bam! 3 empty plates were placed on the table. They were the plates that had previously held the meat. Zhou Fu asked, "Are you full?" "Yes, I'm full." "Then prepare to be on your way. Come, take the things away." The guards and maids at the side hurriedly stepped forward, looking at Big Tiger nervously, afraid that this ferocious man would suddenly attack and hurt them. The tables, chairs, and dishes were quickly removed. Zhou Fu raised his right hand, and the long saber drew an arc in the air before landing in Big Tiger's hand. "Young master." "Not good. Go and call for help." The surrounding people were all dumbfounded. They never thought that their young master would actually throw a weapon to a vicious person who had just been released from the dungeon. Big Tiger was also stunned. He looked at Zhou Fu and asked doubtfully, "Did you lose your mind?" Although he was puzzled, Big Tiger held the long saber tightly. His right hand rested on the hilt, and the aura of a swordsman emanated from him. Swift and fierce. Heh, kid, although I don't know why you're being so stupid, but don't worry, I won't let you feel any pain when I kill you later." Zhou Fu ignored Big Tiger, who was full of trash talk. He took off his clothes, revealing the tight-fitting clothes inside. He slowly stretched out his right hand and raised his finger at Big Tiger, as if he was calling for his pet. Bastard! This extremely arrogant posture instantly ignited Big Tiger's anger. "Brat, didn't you want wind-chasing saber? Today, I'll show you how powerful wind-chasing saber is." Clang! He unsheathed his long saber and held the sharp blade in his hand. There seemed to be a cold spring flowing on the edge of the fine iron blade. "Good saber." Zhou Fu looked at the long saber and froze for a moment. Although he didn't know much about sabers, even a fool could tell from its appearance that this thing wasn't something that could be found on the street. This was a King precious saber that had been meticulously crafted. Son of TCH, which idiot brought it to me? Can't I just take any one of them? Not only Zhou Fu, but Big Tiger was also stunned at this time. He had no idea what Zhou Fu wanted to do. Did he want to subdue him? Just when Big Tiger was in a daze, Zhou Fu suddenly rushed toward him. The strength of the saber steps exploded under his feet. His body turned into a shadow and crossed the distance between them in an instant. Mountain splitter! The blue veins on Zhou Fu's right arm bulged like old roots, tightly entwined in his arm. Good! Just when Zhou Fu raised his fist, Big Tiger instantly came back to his senses. He flipped the long saber in his hand and held it in front of his chest. At this time, he was in no hurry to use his saber. His body also retreated, trying to distance himself. Clang! The long saber made a golden sound and a huge force hit Big Tiger through the saber. What a strong force! He jumped back with the impact of the fist and tried to distance himself. How could Zhou Fu let him do as he wished? If Big Tiger had an ordinary long saber in his hand, he would have let it go. He wanted to test whether his bronze armor arts could withstand the attack of a saber user. But now, forget it. A treasured saber and an ordinary long saber were two different things. What AF * king scam? Zhou Fu cursed under his breath. He took another step forward and his robe fluttered in the air. Before Big Tiger could land, he appeared in front of him. Mountain Splitter. The violent fist force rushed out like a wave. Clang, 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 clang. A series of golden sounds rang out. The horrible force and the trace of internal strength hit Big Tiger through the saber. Damn, is this guy a monster? How can he have so much strength? After blocking more than a dozen punches, Big Tiger's right wrist holding the saber was in pain. Even his right arm was sore. No, if it goes on like this, I will be killed by this little monster. Big Tiger's eyes flashed. His feet clenched the ground and his body fell straight back. At the same time, he waved the long saber in his hand. The cold light forced back the fist. Boy, it's my turn now. He grinned. Before his body hit the ground, the long saber in his right hand touched the ground behind his head. With the force of the rebound, Big Tiger straightened his body. The long saber protected his body with the blade facing forward. Little bastard, you just had a good fight. Don't you want my wind-chasing saber? Watch carefully. Cold wind caressing willow. Big Tiger roared. The long saber in his hand bloomed with 3 cold lights and slashed toward Zhou Fu's chest. Zhou Fu stepped with his right foot and avoided the 3 cold lights in an instant. North wind roar. Woo! The rapid slash of the saber tore the air and made a whistling sound like the invasion of the north wind. At this moment, Zhou Fu felt as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. Saber step. Boom. With the surge of strength, Zhou Fu's figure quickly retreated. At the same time, his right fist was like a heavy hammer, trying to smash the long saber away. How could Big Tiger let Zhou Fu do as he wished? The saber flashed, and the saber edge with a cold light swept toward Zhou Fu's wrist. Damn it! Zhou Fu quickly retreated. At this time, he scolded the person who chose the long saber in his heart. Boy, continue to be arrogant. In this situation, Big Tiger laughed wildly. The long saber in his hand did not stop. His right hand continued to slash, and instantly made several wounds on Zhou Fu's chest. Saber step. Whoosh! A gust of wind rose, and Zhou Fu's figure instantly pulled out a shadow, and then stood a dozen steps away. He stretched out his hand to cover the saber mark on his chest, and panted slightly. At this time, he clearly felt the gap between himself and Big Tiger, a fierce man who licked blood from the edge of his blade. In the battle, Zhou Fu's reaction speed and corresponding strategies were a certain distance from his opponent. If this continued, he would probably have to ask for help from his family. Boing! Big Tiger held his saber in front of him. His arms began to tremble, and even some of the scabbed wounds on his body burst open with blood, dyeing his clothes red. I can feel that today is the last day of my grandfather's life. I want to know if you have been to that courtyard and if you have seen the people inside. Zhou Fu put on a defensive posture, his eyes staring at his opponent. The eternal spring energy in his body quickly flowed through his meridians, emitting a trace of warm breath, constantly restoring his physical strength. You want to know? You can guess. The first chapter was delivered. Today, I will catch up with the 5th chapter to make up for the previous chapter. Please recommend this book to those who like it. Chapter 37. Big Tiger ignored Zhou Fu's teasing and said, Boy, you don't have to tell me. But if you tell me, I'll give you a big gift. How about that? Zhou Fu snorted. Big gift? Son of a bitch, if I can hear the truth from your mouth, I'd rather believe that there are. Just as he was about to say there are ghosts in the world, he suddenly thought of the black-robed man he met in Guiyun Temple that night. Ha ha! Boy, you really went there. Big Tiger was a little excited. Didn't you meet the people inside? Zhou Fu's face suddenly changed. He had been tricked. In his anger, he had a flash of inspiration. Yes, I met them. I went with the Zhou family's consecrators and guards. Guess what happened? This time it was Big Tiger's turn to be shocked. He opened his mouth and rolled his eyes. Then he laughed. I was almost fooled by you. Forget it. If you don't want to tell me, then don't tell me. I'm going to send you on your way. Don't you want Wind-Chasing Blade? Next is the most powerful move in the Wind-Chasing Saber. Take it. Wind-Chasing Blade 36 slashes. Kill. The blade light was as white as snow, like a big wave. Zhou Fu didn't dodge. He released his right hand from his chest, and his expression was a little strange. He was a little excited and a little scared. A gust of wind blew and lifted the torn clothes. Under the clothes there was an intact skin. What shocked Big Tiger was that there were 3 red marks on Zhou Fu's chest. If he remembered correctly, those 3 red marks should be where he had cut before. What? How could it be? He was very sure that the long blade in his hand was a treasure made of fine iron. It was not much worse than the long sword in the hands of the big boss. Blade step. Mountain opening. Boom. The strength exploded under Zhou Fu's feet, and a depression appeared on the bluestone-paved ground. Go to hell. The overbearing fist strength broke the air and smashed down with a powerful force. Big Tiger made up his mind. His many years of risking his life had taught him that if he was timid in a battle, the probability of death was 100%. With a roar, the blood and qi in his body surged. In desperation, all the wounds on his body burst open, making him look like a bloody man. The long saber in his hand whistled and slashed out a bright light. Kill. Boom. Fu-er. Young master. Just as the 2 figures collided, a mournful roar sounded from the courtyard entrance. On the field, Zhou Fu's fist ignored the incoming saber light and heavily imprinted itself on Big Tiger's chest. The terrifying fist strength was superimposed on Big Tiger's mountain splitter and instantly broke his sternum. The broken bones were like spears, piercing into his fragile internal organs. At the same time, the long knife in Big Tiger's hand slashed at Zhou Fu's body. However, to his disappointment, when the blade came into contact with his body, it felt as if it had cut into leather. Moreover, there was a force that bounced the blade away. How is this possible? Boom! The fist strength exploded. Big Tiger was like a rag doll that had been thrown out. He flew more than 10 steps before heavily hitting the ground. Large mouthfuls of black and red blood spurted out from his mouth and nose. He looked at Zhou Fu, who was walking over, and his eyes were full of struggle. Yard, that person. Zhou Fu's upper clothes were cut into pieces by the saberlight just now. The strong muscles under his clothes were exposed, and there were more than 10 red marks on them. He was already dead when I arrived. Big Tiger nodded and said, Thanks. I forgot to tell you that Grandpa is the 3rd leader of the Black Mountain Bandit. I'm down there, waiting, bang! Zhou Fu lifted his leg and swept it over. With a crisp crack, Big Tiger's neck was bent at a strange angle, and he suddenly stopped breathing. Damn it, the plot in the novel is all fake. Today, Zhou Fu wanted to show off. He originally wanted to throw an ordinary long saber to Big Tiger and defeat him directly. He wanted to do this because he had the confidence. After the transformation of the art of bronze armor, Zhou Fu had tried to cut his skin with a sharp weapon. In the end, he could only cut a few red marks. That was why he had this idea. He wanted to use extreme violence to destroy the fear in his heart. Who knew that the servant at home would take out a treasured saber, which really scared Zhou Fu. Moreover, after defeating Big Tiger, Zhou Fu wanted to try the hero's complex in the novel. For example, 2 people could use a conversation to show the helplessness of the Jianghu and the reluctance of the Jianghu people before their death. In the end, he did not get what he wanted. Novels are all lies. If I still believe it, I'll be AF*King Husky. Zhou Fu cursed angrily again. The Chunibyu almost killed him. Fu are you okay? Zhou Ducai dragged his round body and rushed over. He pulled Zhou Fu and checked him. Fortunately, I'm fine. After checking, Zhou Ducai breathed a sigh of relief and then roared, Kid, are you crazy? You actually released the murderer in the dungeon. I heard that you let him eat until he was full. Not only that, you even took out a treasured saber to give to the enemy. Is your King brain filled with wind? The story in the tea house is enough to listen to, but you actually followed it like an idiot? Do you want to die? Zhou Fu was suddenly angered by Zhou Ducai. This was simply a scene of social death. He did not want to. Before this, the conversation between him and Big Tiger was already somewhat in line with the plot of the story. Who knew it would develop like this? Dad, don't say any more. I'll remember it. Zhou Ducai's chest rose and fell rapidly. If you don't want to take care of me, just say it. I'll take advantage of the fact that I can still move and give you a younger brother. This time I was scared to death. Zhou Ducai took a few breaths and glanced at Big Tiger's body. He waved his hand to the guards not far away, indicating that they should clean it up. Then he said to Zhou Fu, Kid, come with me. Yes. So the two of them went to the study. Zhou Ducai sat in a chair and drank a big mouthful of herbal tea. You little bastard, provoking me so early in the morning. Do you want me to die early? Zhou Fu laughed awkwardly. It's nothing. Hey Dad, don't worry. It won't happen again. Humph. Zhou Ducai sneered. I hope so. Don't give me the chance to die young. Fu, you seem to want to walk the path of martial arts. Zhou Fu's face became serious. He replied, yes. Zhou Ducai was curious about his lazy son and his recent changes. He asked in a deep voice, Give me a reason. If you can convince me, I will fully support you in the future. Zhou Fu's eyes lit up. Although he was the eldest son of the Zhou family, there were a lot of precious resources that he could not access. If he had Zhou Ducai's support, it would be different. At least the medicinal cuisine he drank would be of a higher grade. I don't want others to decide my life and death. I want to hold my life in my own hands. The solemn voice pierced Zhou Ducai's heart. He looked at his son who had grown from a little fatty to a strong man. He sighed. The child has grown up. Good. Since you have this kind of determination, you must persevere. If you give up, then you won't even have the chance to inherit the family business. You must think carefully. Yes. Zhou Fu nodded seriously. Zhou Ducai slowly exhaled. It's not easy for us to be merchants. It's even harder to be in the Jianghu. If we're not careful, we'll lose our lives. That's right, Wang Gongfeng was injured a few days ago and has been lying in bed for 2 days. What? Chapter 2. Coming. Looking for a recommendation. Chapter 38. Father, could it be that our Zhou clan's enemy came knocking on our door? Zhou Fu was shocked by this news. The great expert Wang Feng in his mind had actually been crippled. According to the previous exchange between the two, as well as the information obtained from Wang Feng's words, Wang Feng wasn't a simple person. There was at least a sect behind him. As for whether this sect was strong or not, it wasn't clear. However, there was one thing that Zhou Fu was very clear about. No matter how weak that sect was, it wasn't something that their Zhou clan could afford to offend. Zhou Ducai rolled his eyes and said in a bad mood, What are you thinking, brat? How could our Zhou clan have so many enemies? What's more, your father is a businessman, and businessmen pay attention to harmony and wealth. Zhou Fu only thought that his father was doing some digestive exercise and expelling some gas. He asked, Father, can you tell me in detail? Zhou Ducai glanced at him and nodded. 3 days ago, Wang Feng came to your courtyard and saw you cultivating. Then, he came to find me and asked about the origin of your movement technique. At this point, Zhou Ducai glanced at Zhou Fu with a faint smile and continued, Your father doesn't know anything about martial arts. After that, old Ma said that other than your home and the gambling house, the only place you've been to was Sweet Fragrance Brothel. After that, consecrated Wang went to fragrant brothel at night and was sent back early in the morning the next day. Guess what happened to Wang Feng? Zhou Fu opened his mouth and spat out. Did Wang Feng suffer from a horse stroke? Scram! Zhou Ducai grabbed the book on the desk and threw it over with a crash. I said too much. I was wrong. Zhou Fu reached out and caught the book that was thrown over. Then, he walked over with a smirk and put the book back. Zhou Ducai angrily pointed at his nose and scolded. You brat, what are you thinking about all day long? How can you say such things to a consecrator? Humph. Zhou Ducai, whose thoughts were interrupted, was a little angry. Just now, he was almost amused by this little rascal. Consecrated Wang was still unconscious when he was sent back by a manservant from Sweet Cinnamon Brothel. There was blood at the corner of his mouth. I'll ask the doctor in the manor to come over and take a look. According to the doctor's diagnosis, 5 of Wang's ribs were broken, and the bones of his right arm and left leg were also injured. Hiss! Zhou Fu sucked in a breath of cold air. Oh my God, Consecrator Wang is still alive? Brat, are you really itching for a beating? Dad, please continue. I'll shut up. In the end, the doctor in the manor said that this kind of injury would take at least a month before he could get out of bed. It would take at least half a year for him to fully recover. Half a year? Zhou Fu quickly asked. Dad, does that mean that we won't have a consecrator in the manor for at least half a year? Zhou Ducai glanced at Zhou Fu and said, I know what you want to say, but don't worry. I won't be careless with the matters at home. Besides, when did I say that we only have one consecrator in the manor? Oh, that's good. Zhou Fu suddenly felt a lot more at ease. Oh right, Dad, can I see that consecrator? Don't even think about it. Zhou Ducai directly refused. He knew that Zhou Fu wanted to go over and learn some skills, but not everyone had a good temper. This consecrator is different from Consecrator Wang. You better be careful. There are some things that make things difficult for Dad. Although Zhou Fu was very surprised and had doubts in his heart, he felt that Zhou Ducai would definitely not tell him the specifics, so he didn't continue to ask. The two of them chatted for a while. Zhou Fu got up and said, Dad, since there's nothing else, I'll go back first. Zhou Ducai sneered. You want to go to Osmanthus Brothel, right? I knew it. You go to old Ma's place first and bring the gift before you go. You can go and make a gift for me. There's no need, go quickly. Yes. After Zhou Fu left for a while, the butler, old Ma, came in. Zhou Ducai asked, Did you give the gift to that bastard? Yes, master. Young master has already brought the gift over. That's good. Master, something happened to Huang Jia? Zhou Ducai was stunned and asked, Huang Jia? Yes, old Ma's face was dignified. It's Huang Jia who took young master to Guiyun Temple last time. They. Zhou Ducai pondered for a moment and asked, What happened to Huang Jia? Huang Jia Osmanthus Brothel, Lotus Garden. The little lowly Yuer was curled up in the cradle like a cat. This cradle was sent over by Zhou Fu after the craftsman made it for the sake of pleasing the little lowly. After all, this little lowly was very rich. Yo little fatty, you still dare to come here? Zhou Fu's back suddenly had a layer of goosebumps when the cold gaze swept over. He quickly smiled and said, Aren't I here to accompany Sister Yuer? Hey, if it wasn't for you last time, I would have broken that old man's bones. How dare he put on the airs of a senior in front of me? How shameless he is! Just thinking about it makes me angry. Yuer suddenly became angry. Her face with some baby fat looked chubby, which made Zhou Fu's heart beat faster. By the way, little fatty, what gift did you bring? Hurry up and let me see it. Oh. Zhou Fu quickly went forward and placed the box on the table in front of Yuer. TSK, so it's ginseng. It looks good. Keep it. Yu lazily waved her hand. The maid at the side came forward and closed the lid, then took it away. Little fatty, I heard that you've been very active recently. You even caught the Black Mountain Bandit's third brother? No, no. Zhou Fu quickly shook his head. He didn't dare to admit this. How could I possibly catch the Black Mountain Bandit's third brother? I couldn't beat him at that time and was almost killed by him. Then it was Wang. It's that old man. He ran over and saved me. Humph. That old man is really annoying. He came knocking in the middle of the night. Hearing this, Zhou Fu's forehead was covered in cold sweat. He tried his best to control himself and not think about other things. The curve was too sharp and the road was very slippery. Yu suddenly yawned and her eyes became hazy. She said weakly, "Little fatty, I've accepted the gift and you've apologized. If there's nothing else, hurry up and leave. I want to catch up on my sleep." Hearing that Yu was starting to chase him away, Zhou Fu panicked. He wasn't here to apologize. That big sister I don't know. Without waiting for Zhou Fu to finish his words, Yu waved her hand. No, scram. Okay, although Zhou Fu didn't have much hope of obtaining a cultivation technique from the little loli, he still wanted to try. There was always a what if in life, right? Wait, Zhou Fu, who had just walked to the door, suddenly stopped. He was overjoyed. Could it be that things had taken a turn for the better? Or was the little loli preparing to flaunt her wealth, and then give him a martial arts manual or something? Yu looked at the suddenly happy Zhou Fu in shock and asked, "Why are you smiling like a fool?" Nothing, nothing. Zhou Fu shook his head. Forget it, there's something I need to remind you. If there's nothing going on, just stay at home obediently. Don't go out and run around. It's easy to get into trouble. Eh? Zhou Fu's heart tightened. If the little loli said something dangerous, it was fatal to him. He had to get to the bottom of it. Big sister Yu, can you be clear? Yu looked at Zhou Fu with a smile that wasn't a smile and said, "That day, the Huang Jia who went to Guiyun Temple with you was exterminated overnight. There were more than 300 people in the Huang residence. Not even a chicken was left. They were all dead." What? Their entire family was exterminated? Chapter 3. Present. Please search. Please recommend me. Thank you very much. Chapter 39. Zhou Fu sat in the carriage as he recalled what Yu had said earlier. He couldn't help but sigh. The Huang clan was actually annihilated by 5 people. Motherf *Ker, that's over 300 people. Even if there were only 300 chickens, it would be a very difficult task to kill them, let alone 300 people. Young master, where are we going now? Do you want to find a place to eat first? The coachman's voice came from outside the carriage. Zhou Fu thought about it. He just left home not long ago and had nothing to do now. Why not? No. At this moment, a thought flashed through his mind. At this moment, he suddenly thought of the strange corpse he saw in Guiyun Temple that night and the black-robed man. Zhou Fu was shocked. All these things were connected. Let's go home now. Yes. As soon as the carriage stopped at the gate, Zhou Fu jumped down and rushed to the study. Young master is meeting a guest. When the servants in the courtyard saw Zhou Fu running over, they hurriedly reached out to stop him. But how could they stop him? As soon as their arms touched Zhou Fu's body, they were knocked away by a huge force. Bang! The door of the study was directly pushed open by Zhou Fu. "Father, I suddenly thought of... who is this?" At this moment, Zhou Ducai was talking to a middle-aged man in black. When they heard Zhou Fu knocking open the door, both of them turned to look. "What's the hurry?" Zhou Ducai asked in a deep voice. "That." Zhou Fu looked at the middle-aged man and didn't know what to say. "Ha ha ha ha, this must be the head shopkeeper's son? Although this is the first time I've seen you, I've heard a lot about young Master Zhou. Oh, he's an old geezer." Before Zhou Fu could speak, Zhou Ducai spoke first. "You little rascal, hurry up and greet the Zhou family's consecrator, Wu Jianye." "Consecrator Wu." So he's a consecrator. He doesn't look like a good person. Zhou Fu hurriedly bowed and said, Junior Zhou Fu greets Consecrator Wu. Haha. Wu Jianye gave a perfunctory smile and continued to say in a half-hearted tone, Your etiquette is very good, but it's a little different from the rumors. It seems that the rumors can't be trusted completely. Zhou Ducai smiled kindly. Even if he heard others talk about Zhou Fu like that, he didn't get angry. Haha, I've let Consecrator Wu see the effect. This child is always like this, always careless. Wu Jianye glanced at Zhou Fu. He wanted to use etiquette to pressure Zhou Ducai so that Zhou Ducai would reprimand Zhou Fu, and then make Zhou Fu apologize to him. However, it seemed impossible now. Zhou Ducai was very protective of his son. Since young Master Zhou is looking for the head shopkeeper, then this Wu will take his leave first. I will come to look for the head shopkeeper again in a while. Zhou Ducai nodded and said, Then please forgive this Zhou for not being a good host. Take care, Consecrator Wu. Wu Jianye turned and walked out of the room. When he passed by Zhou Fu, he snorted coldly. Bang! The door to the study was slammed shut. This action made Zhou Fu a little dumbfounded. What the hell is this? Fu, be careful with your words. Zhou Ducai scolded in a deep voice. Then, he picked up the teacup and enjoyed the tea. Father, Zhou Ducai didn't even look up. He waved his hand to signal Zhou Fu to stop talking. After a while, Zhou Ducai put down the teacup in his hand and said earnestly, Fu, you have the nerve to say that you are a martial artist. Haven't you heard that after practicing martial arts to a certain level, your 5 senses will become very sharp? These words stunned Zhou Fu. He gave Zhou Ducai a thumbs up and said, Brilliant! Really brilliant! No wonder you are the head shopkeeper of our Zhou family. Stop flattering me. You have a lot to learn. For example, this Wu Jianye is the foreign affairs elder of the Red Sea Gang. He has a high position and power. It is natural for him to look down on you. Who told you to be so unbearable before? Zhou Fu smiled and asked, What is a foreign affairs elder? A foreign affairs elder. For example, if the Red Sea Gang wants to deal with something that their own people can't solve, they need someone who can solve the problem. However, these people are not qualified to join the gang's upper echelons. If they were lower echelons, it would be demeaning for them. Therefore, there is a foreign affairs elder. Tisk, Zhou Fu instantly understood. He sneered and said, Isn't it just a high-level fighter? You brat! Zhou Ducai was very satisfied with his son's ability to understand and react. These were all inherited from his excellent bloodline. Tell me, why did you come to find me? Zhou Fu's face turned serious and said, Dad, have you heard? The Huang Jia family was wiped out. There were more than 300 of them. Not a single one of them was spared. Yes, I have heard. Speaking of this, Zhou Ducai's face turned serious. This was also one of the reasons why Wu Jianye was able to come to the Zhou family. About that, I think I know why the Huang Jia family was wiped out. What? Zhou Ducai suddenly stood up. He looked at Zhou Fu in shock. Disbelief was written all over his face. After Zhou Ducai received the news of the Huang Jia family being wiped out, the Heiyang city government called all the rich merchants and managers of the families over and personally inspected the scene of the Huang Jia family's tragedy. Every time he thought of the tragedy, Zhou Ducai would feel uncomfortable in his stomach. There was still a lingering fear in his heart. But now, he heard Zhou Fu say that he knew the reason. How could he not be terrified? This was something that the entire Heiyang city was looking for. He said in a deep voice, Tell me everything in detail. Zhou Fu nodded. Dad, do you remember that day when I went to the Guiyun temple in the suburbs with the Huang Jia and the Lu family? Yes, I do. Is it related to this? Of course it is. That night, after we had all fallen asleep, a short man in a black robe drugged all of us. Luckily, the dosage wasn't too high and we all woke up. The man in the black robe was actually targeting the Huang Jia. He even said that he wanted them to hand over something called the Chart of the Enlightened King. Chart of the Enlightened King? Zhou Ducai frowned. His thoughts were running wild as he tried to find any information related to this name. Yes, the Chart of the Enlightened King. It was said that Huang Haoyun got a piece of cloth by accident. There was a map in the cloth, and the map pointed to the Guiyun Temple. This was also the reason why we went to the Guiyun Temple that day. Upon hearing this, Zhou Ducai took in a deep breath of air. He was extremely frustrated right now. To think that this matter would implicate his only son. Wasn't he being F***king implicated by the Huang family? This was an undeserved calamity. You little rascal, don't go to those weird places in the future. Do you hear me? Yes, Zhou Fu nodded. Don't worry, Dad, I know. No matter what it was, he had to agree to it first. As for whether he would change it or not, that was up to Zhou Fu. Zhou Ducai asked, Is there anything else? Nothing else. Okay, I know. Don't tell anyone about this. Keep it in your heart. You can go back first. Alright, Dad, I want to go see how Master Wang is doing. Zhou Ducai thought for a moment and nodded. It's good to go see him. After all, Master Wang saved you twice. Okay, then I'll go first. Go. Chapter 5. Failed the challenge, hee. Chapter 40. Zhou Fu came to Wang Feng's courtyard. He stood at the door for a moment and recalled some of the things that happened between the two of them. Generally speaking, Wang Feng was quite good to him. Not only did he teach him martial arts, but he also told him about internal energy. Now that I think about it, this old man doesn't seem to have done anything wrong to me. Zhou Fu sighed. It's just that the way he handled things was so bad that I foolishly became his disciple. I didn't even get any benefits, but it's very annoying. He adjusted his mood and entered the room. The smell of medicine was very strong. Wang Feng heard the sound and turned around. Ahem, junior brother, I thought you wouldn't come to see me. Zhou Fu looked at Wang Feng, who was lying on the bed with a cloth wrapped around his body. How could I? I'm a hard-working person who focuses on cultivation, so I don't usually hear much news. Today, I heard something happened to you, so I quickly came over. Wang Feng looked at Zhou Fu's sincere expression and nodded. He felt a lot better. Senior brother has misunderstood and wrongly blamed junior brother. Ahem. Just as he finished speaking, Wang Feng started coughing. Zhou Fu was speechless when he saw this. If he didn't know better, he would think that he was bullying a sick old man. Zhou Fu quickly changed the topic and asked, Senior brother, what happened to your injuries? Speaking of injuries, Wang Feng's expression became unnatural. He even began to stutter. I was careless and fell into someone's trap. Ahem, the night before yesterday I was careless and was surrounded by 3 masters. Not only that, they also used underhanded method. Under Zhou Fu's gaze, Wang Feng's face began to turn red. Well, even so, I still managed to kill my way out. Also, those people didn't have it easy either. Their injuries weren't any lighter than mine. Zhou Fu smirked. Senior brother, can you explain in detail? Wang Feng's expression froze, and he stuttered as he explained, Junior brother, your cultivation base is still low, and you haven't reached that level yet. The waters of Jianghu are very deep. You won't understand even if I tell you. Even if you do, you won't be able to grasp it. It's only because I, your senior brother, have experienced hundreds of battles and seen many aspects of the world. Furthermore, my cultivation base is also high. That's why I'm able to have such a battle record. So, junior brother, you still have to work hard to cultivate. When senior brother brings you back to the sect, I believe that you will be as powerful as senior brother. Perhaps because Wang Feng had fallen into his own fantasy, he believed his lies to be true and stopped stuttering. Junior brother, don't bite off more than you can chew. These are not things you should be concerned about. Right now, you should be down to earth and cultivate properly. Otherwise, it would be like a few nights ago. If I hadn't arrived in time, that tiger guy would have taken your life. That's why, junior brother, you should first set your goal to defeat that whatever tiger, and focus on your cultivation. Zhou Fu said playfully, Senior brother, you're right. I will work hard. Wang Feng nodded with an expression that said, You're a promising child. Yes, yes. I'm very happy that junior brother can think like this. By the way, senior brother, I also have good news to tell you today. You can tell me to get rid of my bad luck. That guy called Dao was killed by me from the front this morning. Yes, as expected. What? Wang Feng was taken aback. His eyes widened in shock. In his excitement, he wanted to sit up. Then, a sharp pain came, causing a layer of cold sweat to appear on his forehead. Ouch! Zhou Fu, who was watching from the side, almost laughed out loud. He quickly went up to support him. Senior brother, don't be so excited. The doctor in the residence said that you will have to lie down for at least a month. Wang Feng stared at Zhou Fu's face. Kid, tell me the truth. Did you really kill that tiger guy? Zhou Fu smiled and said, Of course. Many people in the residence know about this. How did you cultivate so quickly? Wang Feng muttered to himself as if he was in a daze. Zhou Fu did not have the heart to provoke him too much. He added, During the battle, I felt that tiger guy's strength had weakened. Maybe it's because he was tied up for a long time. Yes. That must be it. Wang Feng's spirit was lifted again. Then, the two chatted for a while. Zhou Fu stood up and said, It's getting late. Senior brother, rest well. I'm going to cultivate. Yes. By the way, junior brother, don't go to Osmanthus brothel anymore. I feel that it's not simple. I know. Senior brother, rest well. After Zhou Fu left, there was a sigh in the room. Then it became quiet. It's another day where I don't get martial arts. In the courtyard, Zhou Fu lay on the recliner that the craftsman had just made and sighed. Bronze armor art seems to have reached a bottleneck. When I fought against Big Tiger in the morning, I withstood so many slashes from him, but he didn't reduce my cooldown. Could it be that Big Tiger's wind-chasing saber can no longer satisfy you? After the battle in the morning, his blade steps, mountain-breaking fist, and even eternal spring force had improved to a certain extent. As for bronze armor, it was as if nothing had happened, which made Zhou Fu very uncomfortable. Sigh, art of bronze armor is fine, but there's something even more ridiculous. He looked at the immovable foundation seal on the support panel. Its cooldown had reached 0, and the plus sign had appeared. But, ding! Immovable foundation seal failed to level up. Zhou Fu had heard this kind of notification many times. Every time he heard it, he had the same feeling. The same feeling was that he felt uncomfortable every time. The difference was that the degree of discomfort was different every time. Whatever, I'll leave it for now. I need to think about what to do next. Oh right, I haven't been to the casino in a long time. I'll go check it out today. When Zhou Fu arrived at the casino, a large black cloud covered the entire Heong city. The black cloud was very thick, and the sky was as dark as night. Candles were lit up in the casino. Damn, the sky is like flipping a book. Suddenly, the sky and the earth lit up. Crack, boom. There was a clap of thunder, as if the sky was collapsing. It made Zhou Fu shiver. After the thunder, there was a sudden storm, and water vapor filled the air. Looks like I can't go back today. At this time, in a house not far away from the casino, a dozen men in black were gathered together. Each of them had a weapon in their hand. Everyone, we have received news today. Our third leader was killed by Zhou Fu from the Zhou family. Brothers, what do you think we should do? Kill Zhou Fu and avenge our third leader. Yes, avenge him. All of them were furious. The leader of the men in black looked around and said with satisfaction, Zhou Fu is trapped in the casino, and our brothers have found his house. The leader pointed outside the house. Now, even the gods are on our side. If we don't avenge him now, when will we? The atmosphere in the room reached its peak in an instant, and heavy breathing sounds could be heard. Kill Zhou Fu and avenge him. Kill Zhou Fu. Avenge him. Let's go. Chapter 41. Heavy rain on a summer's night really goes well with sleep. Zhou Fu laid on the bed and listened to the sound of rain outside. He slowly closed his eyes and his breathing slowed down. Just as Zhou Fu was about to fall asleep, there was a commotion outside the door. This bastard, he actually dares to renege on a debt in our casino. He's simply looking for death. That's right, that's right. Brothers, look at this kid, his skin is soft and tender, his face is also not bad, how about, he. Old Five, you son of a bitch, restrain your hobbies. Coming out in the middle of the night to annoy people, be careful that I don't beat you to death. I was wrong. Let's hurry and find young Master Zhou, I hope this kid can live. Bang bang bang. There was a knock on the door. Young Master Zhou, there's a problem in front, I need you to make a decision. Zhou Fu put on his coat and said, Come in. The door was pushed open and 3 people walked in. The 2 people who came in later were dragging a person. This is? Zhou Fu frowned. Young Master Zhou, this kid owes 3,000 taels of silver from our casino and can't pay up. The person who spoke was a strong man. Zhou Fu had seen him before. This person was behind the Red Sea Gang's leader, Iron Tiger, and was Iron Tiger's personal guard. Later, this kid wanted to take the opportunity to slip away. Fortunately, the brothers guarding him were alert and caught him. How do you think we should deal with this? This question really stumped Zhou Fu. What to do? How would he know what to do? Just as Zhou Fu was deep in thought, an idea flashed through his mind. Since he couldn't solve the problem, then he would find someone who could. He opened his mouth and asked, Where's Manager Liao? Manager Liao had something to do this morning and went out. Looking at the weather, he probably won't be back until tomorrow. After saying that, the 3 people looked at Zhou Fu meaningfully, wanting to know how he would deal with this. It wasn't that the 3 of them didn't know how to deal with this matter. They just wanted to make things difficult for Zhou Fu. Because of Zhou Fu's obsession with martial arts, the Red Sea Gang members had been scolded by Iron Tiger. He said that they were all lazy bums, and that they were not even as good as a silk pant. These gang members didn't dare to say anything to Iron Tiger, but they hated Zhou Fu. You're just a hedonistic son of a rich family. Why would you practice martial arts for no reason? Your family is already so rich. Go eat, drink, and play. Zhou Fu raised his chin towards the person on the ground and asked, Who is this person? We don't know about that, but recently this person has been playing with us. The guard bent down, grabbed the man's hair, and lifted him up. The F***CK? It's him? Under the candlelight, Zhou Fu was surprised to find that he actually knew this person. This person was none other than Bai Lang, the person who sold him martial arts at Osmanthus brothel. At this moment, Bai Lang was no longer as carefree and unruly as before. His right eye was covered with a black fist mark, and there were bloodstains on his nose and mouth. His hair was disheveled, and he looked miserable. The 3 of them were stunned when they heard Zhou Fu's shout. Could it be someone they knew? This was King Awkward. The guard asked uncertainly, This person? Young Master Zhou knows him? Zhou Fu had a strange expression on his face as he nodded and said, I think he should be a friend of mine. Hearing Zhou Fu admit it, the 3 of them laughed awkwardly, and the guard hurriedly told them what happened. I'm really sorry. We didn't know that this was young Master's friend, it's okay. My friend was in the wrong first. You don't have to be like this. Yes. It's like this. Yes. He was the one who attacked me first, so, I used too much strength when I fought back. I'll be fine after applying some medicinal wine for a day. The guard was indeed someone who had worked with Iron Tiger before. He hurriedly scolded, What are you waiting for? Quickly help this young master up and find a chair to sit on. Yes, yes, yes. Quickly come and help. Oh, oh, coming, coming. The three of them hurriedly placed Bai Lang on the chair. Young Master Zhou, we've troubled you. Well, we still have something to do in front, so we won't disturb you anymore. Goodbye. Yes, yes, yes. We still have something to do in front. Goodbye, goodbye. The three of them ran out quickly, not forgetting to close the door before they left. What the F***ck is this? Why did they send me a wounded man in the middle of the night? Zhou Fu looked at the door speechlessly, then looked at Bai Lang. Sigh, if only Manager Liao was here. At this time, he missed the smart and capable executive of the Zhou family very much. It's not a good idea to just leave him like this. Forget it, I'll just throw him on the soft couch in the living room tonight. Zhou Fu walked to Bai Lang's side, grabbed him with his big hand, lifted him up, and turned around to throw him on the soft couch. Patter! A small object fell out of Bai Lang's arms and landed right beside Zhou Fu's feet. What is this? Zhou Fu bent down to pick it up. It was a small cloth bag. This thing, why does it look so familiar? He stared at the brown cloth bag in his hand, his mind spinning rapidly. Suddenly, a picture appeared, and Zhou Fu slowly opened his mouth wide. Damn! This thing can't be the bag from before, right? No wonder Zhou Fu looked familiar. This thing was the cloth bag that Bai Lang carried with him when he sold him the secret manual in Gui Xiang brothel. Good fellow, you're so thrifty. Zhou Fu sighed and accidentally opened the cloth bag. Inside the cloth bag, there was a small booklet, very similar to the bronze armor art. Iron Bone's secret manual? He looked up at Bai Lang. Still in a coma. So Zhou Fu opened the booklet with ease. Ding detected the martial art, Iron Bone's secret manual. Do you want to cultivate it? Sure enough, this was a martial arts secret manual. Zhou Fu was dumbfounded. It was like winning the lottery. Happiness came too suddenly, and he wasn't prepared for it. In the past few days, he had spent a lot of effort for a secret manual, but the result was nothing. He did not expect that today he would get another secret manual from Bai Lang in this way. Zhou Fu opened his mouth, and a simple and honest smile appeared on his face. Brother Bai, you will be my brother from now on. Level up. Ding. Iron Bone's secret manual, level up successfully. The current level is level 10. The cooldown time is 10 days. Zhou Fu's whole body trembled, and the hot strength surged in his body, especially in the joints of his body. The feeling of soreness was particularly obvious. He gritted his teeth, raised his head, stared at the roof and said, "Thank God, boom!" The roof exploded in an instant, and a large amount of rain, tiles, and some broken wooden strips smashed down. Damn it! He screamed and took a step forward, but his feet went soft and he rolled out. Plop! A figure fell from the hole in the roof, holding a long sword in his hand. He looked at Zhou Fu lying on the ground and asked, "Are you Zhou Fu?" Black clothes, a mask, and a long sword, this was the signature equipment of an assassin. Hearing the black-clothed man's question, Zhou Fu quickly shook his head. "No, I'm not Zhou Fu, you have found the wrong person." The black-clothed man sneered, "It seems that it is you, kill." Chapter 42. Oh my God! Looking at the long saber coming at him, Zhou Fu rolled and crawled to avoid the saber. "Hero, you really recognize the wrong person, I really am not Zhou Fu." The man in black looked at him contemptuously and sneered. "Boy, what are you pretending to me for? Since I can come here, how can I not know you?" He looked up and down at Zhou Fu. His tone was very contemptuous. "Speaking of which, with your appearance, you can actually kill my third leader? God really doesn't have eyes." At this time, Zhou Fu had unspeakable bitterness in his heart. The strength of the man in black in front of him was not in his eyes at all. However, he had just finished upgrading his skills and was in a weak state of sequelae. It was difficult for him to even stand, let alone fight. He didn't expect this iron bone secret scroll to be so powerful. The bones all over his body were numb and his limbs were weak. Gotcha! Thunder rumbled in the sky. The rain was getting heavier and heavier. The man in black looked at Zhou Fu playfully. In his opinion, the young Master Zhou in front of him had not recognized the situation at this time. In this way, he needed to remind the other party, otherwise, how could he enjoy the pleasure of killing? The original third leader of the stronghold was killed, so there was a vacant position. How many people were eyeing it? If he didn't take revenge by killing, what would he use to fight for that position? Boy, the man in black flipped his wrist, and the long blade with a cold light played a knife flower. Did you hear that? Even the heavens are helping us now. No matter if you scream or beg for mercy, it's useless. No one can hear it. A tyrannical look appeared in the eyes of the man in black. He was so excited that his body began to tremble. I won't kill you with a knife. I will slowly torture you to death, and then bring your head back to the stronghold to comfort my third leader's soul in heaven. This was AF** King Psychopath. Why did he feel so good after talking so much? Moreover, he was so talkative. Had he never heard of villains dying because they talked too much? Seeing the black-clothed man in such a state, Zhou Fu felt a lot more relieved. What he needed was time. Once the strange feeling in his body disappeared, the black-clothed man would die. Mother****, the next time I upgrade a martial art like this, I will definitely find a safe place. The feeling of being a fish on the chopping block is too ridiculous. Zhou Fu pretended to be frightened. His body trembled as he retreated to the side. That was how it was in the movies, so he did as he was told. Clang! A chair was knocked over by him. The man in black turned his head and looked at him playfully. That gaze was as if he was staring at the food on the plate. Ha 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 ha, since young Master Zhou can't wait any longer, then I'm here. Whoosh! The man in black slashed out with his saber. Zhou Fu quickly dodged. Clang! The long saber slashed into the tea table beside Zhou Fu. The black-clothed man didn't care. He grinned and suddenly exerted strength in his right arm. He lifted the tea table and swung it. What the F***ck? There was such a move? Zhou Fu was dumbfounded by what he saw. That lifted tea table whizzed and smashed onto Zhou Fu's shoulder. Boom! The table broke. Ah! Zhou Fu quickly pretended to be in great pain and screamed. How long will this after effect take? The first upgrade should be enough. Why hasn't it healed yet? While lowering his head to dodge, he madly complained in his heart. The black-clothed man leisurely walked in front of Zhou Fu and used the back of his saber to hit Zhou Fu's shoulder. Zhou Fu also borrowed the force of this attack and fell to the side. But he didn't expect that the black-clothed man would raise his leg and kick. Bang! The fierce kick directly sent Zhou Fu flying. Looking at Zhou Fu, who was sent flying by his kick, the black-clothed man laughed wildly and said, "Boy, I'll ask you if you feel good. Ha 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 ha." Just as he was about to continue his torture, there was a burst of shouting outside the house. Clang! Clang! First, there was the sound of copper. Then, there was a burst of shouting. Not good! Not good! Thieves have broken in. Everyone, be careful. The thieves are all armed. Brothers, grab your weapons. Kill. The black-clothed man suddenly paused and looked at the door in surprise. Bastards! I told them not to act rashly. Are they F***king incompetent? A bunch of trash. Zhou Fu was sent flying by the black-clothed man's kick and smashed directly onto the soft couch. After his body fell, he habitually opened his mouth and screamed. But as soon as the sound came out, he felt that something was wrong. A soft touch came from under his body. He didn't feel any pain. Zhou Fu suddenly raised his head, and a mist of blood spurted out from behind him. F***ck. Brother, bye. He turned his head and was immediately shocked. The person under his body was Bai Lang. At this moment, Bai Lang was very much in line with his surname. His face was pale, and even his half-opened eyes couldn't see the black pupils. This time, Zhou Fu was really panicking. He didn't even notice that the weakness in his body was beginning to fade. Brother Bai, wake up. Don't let anything happen to you. This Bai Lang had already been defined as a secret store by Zhou Fu. He had met him twice and he had received cultivation technique. If he was gone, Zhou Fu's loss would not be small. So, he was very panicked and anxious. I didn't expect that young Master Zhou would value brotherhood so much. The black-clothed man walked over with a long saber. At this moment, there was no violence or fanaticism in his eyes, only cold, killing intent. In that case, after I kill you later, I'll send your brother down to see you. As he spoke, the black-clothed man raised the long saber in his hand. Kill! With a loud shout, the long saber slashed down. Bam! The black-clothed man was shocked. He saw that Zhou Fu didn't even raise his head, and reached out to grab the blade that was slashing down. How is this possible? The black-clothed man stared at the blade and the fleshy palm beneath the blade. This unimaginable scene scared him silly. He tried to pull the saber out, but the palm was like an iron clamp. No matter how hard he tried, the saber didn't move at all. At this moment, Zhou Fu removed his right hand from under Bai Lang's nose. He heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, he's not dead. Then, he stood up and looked at the black-clothed man. Do you know that you almost killed my brother? If you dare to harm my brother, you'll be harming me. If you harm me, you'll have to die. At this moment, the black-clothed man had already seen Bai Lang's face clearly. There were bruises on his face, and it didn't look like he was smashed. It looked more like he was beaten up. However, Zhou Fu wouldn't give the enemy time to react. Mountain Splitter! A loud shout instantly woke the black-clothed man up. He looked up and his pupils contracted violently. Oh no! His fist was like a spear. Boom! The black-clothed man didn't even have the chance to react before he was sent flying by the domineering fist force. Bam! The door was shattered. The black-clothed man smashed into the corridor outside the door, his body trembling non-stop. The intense pain tore at the black-clothed man's nerve. Streams of blood gushed out from his mouth and nose. At this moment, he could no longer speak. He raised his trembling right hand slightly and pointed his index finger at Zhou Fu. At this moment, his eyes were filled with regret and shock. Sword steps. Zhou Fu's figure instantly appeared in front of the black-clothed man. He lifted his foot and stomped down. Crack! Ugh! Bam! The black-clothed man's raised hand suddenly lost the strength to support it. Zhou Fu shook his head. Villains die because they talk too much. At this moment, there was a flurry of footsteps outside the courtyard. It's here. Hurry! Boss, this is bad. Our brothers can't hold on any longer. Boss, let's retreat. There are experts here. The footsteps were getting closer and the voices were getting clearer. Bam! Bam! The closed courtyard door shook and was then slammed open by a huge force. More than a dozen black-clothed and masked figures with long swords in their hands rushed in. Beside Zhou Fu's door, there were 2 lampposts. Under the protection of the windproof and rainproof lampshades, the lights inside were still bright even in this harsh weather. After these black-clothed men rushed into the courtyard, they turned around and saw the scene at the door of the main room. What? Boss? Chapter 43. Under the dim light, one was standing and the other was lying down, one alive and one dead. The men in black who rushed in from the outside were stunned when they saw the situation in front of them. Before they came here, their leader, the man in black who was trampled to death by Zhou Fu, had vowed that tonight would be the last part of their road to riches. As long as they went to the casino tonight with a knife and killed a playboy. Then, they would bring the head of that playboy back to the mountain. That way, each of them would receive a generous reward. Not only that, but their status would also rise. Money, women, whatever they wanted. Therefore, they were excited and came here. Therefore, they were at a loss. Boss was killed. What should we do? What should we do? Damn it, how do I know what to do? My hand is shaking. I can't hold the knife. Shut up. At this time, the armed forces of Hing Yun Casino rushed into the courtyard. They were all tall and well-equipped. A light beam also lit up on the wall. This thing made Zhou Fu confused. There was actually something in this world that could shine in the rain? You have guts. You actually dare to make trouble in the territory of the Red Sea Gang. The crowd parted. Iron Tiger came out with 4 bodyguards with a gloomy face. At this time, Tai Hu was different from before. He was holding a golden blade in his hand. The blade was very wide, about 1.5 palms of an ordinary person. It was about half a meter long and looked very fierce. Iron Tiger's eyes swept over the men in black and fell on Zhou Fu, who was standing at the door. When he saw the corpse at Zhou Fu's feet, he was shocked. This little fatty actually knew how to kill people? Before this, he only knew that Zhou Fu was practicing martial arts and could see that he had never killed anyone. Young Master Zhou really opened this old man's eyes. Zhou Fu smiled and cupped his hands. I've made a fool of myself in front of Hall Master Iron. Hee. Iron Tiger smiled and turned to look at the men in black. I'll give you 2 options. Either kneel down or die. Hearing Iron Tiger's words, the men in black instantly panicked. They didn't know anything else, but from the exaggerated big knife in Iron Tiger's hand, they knew that this person was not someone they could afford to provoke. Thus, they tacitly turned to Zhou Fu, and the panic in their eyes was gradually replaced by ferocity. Brothers, kill him. He's alone. Yes, kill him and avenge our boss. Kill him. Kill. A leader appeared in the midst of the panicked crowd, allowing the frightened men in black to instantly find their direction. Furthermore, the new leader was right. Zhou Fu was alone and did not have a weapon. Compared to the ferocious Red Sea Gang, Zhou Fu was like an unguarded baby. As the man in black roared, Iron Tiger's face became as gloomy as the sky. Bastards, how dare you ignore this old man? Die. Iron Tiger's majestic body rushed into the crowd in an instant, and the knife in his hand danced. Woo! The low humming sound instantly suppressed the sound of the torrential rain. Golden light suddenly appeared, and blood filled the air. The terrifying attack instantly tore apart the bodies of the 4 men in black, and their limbs were pushed away by the huge force. Run! This man is a monster! The hot blood that the men in black had just gathered was instantly extinguished by Iron Tiger's knife. Iron Tiger roared again, kill! 3 golden lights tore apart the curtain of rain, and several figures were thrown away. At the same time, the smell of blood in the courtyard became stronger. Ha 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 ha! I haven't killed so happily in a long time. Again. Iron Tiger jumped high, and the knife in his hand seemed to become a light source. Dozens of golden lights shot out, and a cloud of fog rose around him. The golden light fell, and there was another scream. The man in black running at the front turned his head, and his heart instantly fell into the abyss. This scene made Zhou Fu's blood boil. Strong. He was really too strong. There were originally more than a dozen men in black, but now there were only 3 left. In almost the blink of an eye, he killed more than a dozen people with 3 knives. Moreover, Iron Tiger's last knife was completely beyond Zhou Fu's understanding. That thing is knife energy, right? It must be knife energy, right? This kind of movie-level scene instantly aroused Zhou Fu's blood and qi. At this time, the remaining 3 men in black were also scared out of their wit. In the wind and rain, under the dim yellow light, the 3 of them were like abandoned chicks, helpless and confused. After one move, Iron Tiger landed on the ground and held his knife. There was a contemptuous smile on his face. The Red Sea Gang members were excited. Good. Hall Master is so powerful. Ha 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 ha. I haven't seen Hall Master in action for a long time. Yes, yes. The atmosphere was getting more and more fervent, and the three of them felt even more helpless. What should we do? Beg for mercy. Will they let us go if we beg for mercy? The Red Sea gang members gave answers to the three's questions. Hey, you three trash. Either you rush up to die or slit your own throat. Hurry up. Yes. The three of them looked at each other and saw the deep despair in each other's eyes. As the saying goes, a rabbit will bite when cornered, and a dog will jump over a wall when cornered. Under extreme fear, the three of them felt their blood boil. They clenched the long knives in their hands and roared as they rushed toward Zhou Fu. What the f***ck? Why me? This scene made Zhou Fu very confused. Could it be that he was easy to bully because he was alone? On the other side, one of Iron Tiger's personal guards said, Hall Master, should we save that kid? Iron Tiger shook his head. Not yet. Watch. At this time, Zhou Fu didn't know why, but anger rose in his heart. He rushed into the rain, splashing water under his feet. Mountain Splitter! The oncoming black-clothed man's eyes were full of madness. He clenched the long knife with both hands and used all the strength in his body to hack down. Kill! Clang! The fist and the knife collided. A golden sound spread far and wide in the rain. The long knife was broken into several pieces upon contact. After Zhou Fu's fist broke the long knife, it didn't stop at all and directly imprinted on the black-clothed man's chest. Boom! The ferocious fist force immediately shattered the black-clothed man's bones and came out of his body. Even on the black-clothed man's back, there was an obvious bulge. This scene was clearly seen by Iron Tiger, who was standing right behind. He took a deep breath, his eyes shining brightly as he praised, "What a domineering fist energy! Is this still the mountain-breaking fist?" On the other side, after Zhou Fu blasted away the black-clothed man in front of him, his figure flashed and dodged the two long knives that were coming at him. His body appeared behind the remaining two black-clothed men. Twisting his waist and turning around, Zhou Fu's fists were like two meteor hammers, making two crisp sounds in the air. The two black-clothed men didn't even have time to react before they were sent flying. Good! Iron Tiger roared excitedly. Ha! I didn't expect Duke of Zhou's mountain-breaking fist to be so high and your fist force so strong. This old man really misjudged you. Zhou Fu quickly cupped his hands and smiled. Hall Master Iron, you flatter me. How can my insignificant skills catch your attention? This is not the place to talk. It's still raining. Why don't we talk somewhere else? Iron Tiger readily agreed. Ha, if you don't mind, let's talk for a while. Chapter 44. The sharp laughter scattered in the wind and pierced the ears of everyone present. Iron Tiger's eyes were shining. He raised the saber in his hand and the energy in his body surged. He shouted, "Who is it? Come out!" The overbearing sound waves seemed to shake the raindrops, and the ear-piercing sound was scattered. Under the stimulation of the two sound waves, Zhou Fu felt really bad. It was as if he had been forced to drink half a kilo of white wine and then hit twice with a sledgehammer. What kind of gods are they? Not only Zhou Fu, but even the people behind Iron Tiger couldn't bear it. They held their heads with both hands and fell to the ground, groaning in pain. "Who are you? Come out!" Iron Tiger shouted. The saber in his hand shone with a golden light and he slashed 4 times in all directions. The pale golden saber light drew 4 clear marks in the night sky and rushed into the darkness. Boom! The saber light disappeared and 4 loud sounds were heard. Ha! Hall Master Iron is so powerful. I can't bear it. Bang! 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 The curtain of rain exploded. A figure rushed toward Iron Tiger. Good! Seeing the enemy appear and rush toward him, Iron Tiger shouted. His saber turned into a golden light and slashed. Woo! The pale golden saber light instantly cut through the black shadow. Iron Tiger frowned. He didn't feel like he had cut through anything. It was as if he had cut through air. It was a shadow. Not good. Iron Tiger hurriedly withdrew his saber to block. Clang! With a golden sound, Iron Tiger took 5 steps back. Ha 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 ha, Hall Master Iron, why are you so angry? A soft laughter sounded in Zhou Fu's ears. He trembled and his body stiffened. Oh, so this is the eldest son of the Zhou family. He looks so handsome. I like him very much. Her sharp and cold nails fell below Zhou Fu's earlobe and then scratched toward his chin. Get lost. Zhou Fu's qi and blood surged. Waves of energy rushed to his elbow and slammed behind him. Oh, little brother is also so angry. Before Zhou Fu could make the next move, a cold palm pressed down on his shoulder. How about I help young Master Zhou calm down? A bone-chilling aura instantly entered his body. Zhou Fu's expression changed dramatically. He found that he couldn't move. Boom! The cold little hand suddenly burst out a huge force and sent Zhou Fu flying. Young Master Zhou, are you feeling better now? Zhou Fu's body landed on the porch. He was only 3 steps away from the man in black, whom he had trampled to death. Before he could get up, a gust of wind blew, and the black shadow stood beside him. Yo, I didn't expect young Master Zhou's body to be so strong. He didn't even spit out a mouthful of blood after being hit by my palm. That small hand slammed down again. It was like a sledgehammer that could penetrate a body. Boom. Gotcha. Zhou Fu's chest felt heavy and he almost fainted. Under his body, the solid stone floor suddenly shattered. Ah. Such a strong body. I like it. Woo, a low humming sound rang out. A golden light streaked across the small courtyard. Demon, don't be so arrogant. Die for me. At this time, Iron Tiger was about to go crazy. This demon in black broke into his territory. The result was that all of his subordinates were injured. The Zhou family, who was cooperating with their gang, had their young master beaten up in front of his eyes. How was this beating Zhou Fu? This was a slap to his face. Oh, so this is soul-breaking blade. Humph, brute. A silver light flashed. A long sword covered in frost came out of the black-clothed man's sleeve. It was like a poisonous snake that touched the golden light. Bang! Water vapor rose, accompanied by ice shards falling down. Zhou Fu raised his head. When the ice shards fell on his face, they were cool and made him feel a little more spirited. At this time, the black-clothed man and Iron Tiger were already fighting. Golden light and silver light intertwined and collided. Waves of energy mixed with cold air spread out. After a while, a white ground appeared in the courtyard. What kind of martial arts is this? At this time, Zhou Fu had already stood up. Although he was beaten up by the black-clothed man, his body was strong. His skin was rough and his flesh was thick. Oh no, it was high defense and high health. It did not cause any substantial damage to him. In the field, the black-clothed man and Iron Tiger's attack speed became faster and faster. The sound of metal clanging together became one. Boom! Golden light and silver light suddenly flashed. A violent wind swept through the field. Iron Tiger and the black-clothed man's figure flew back. Zhou Fu's eyes flashed. Opportunity! Mountain splitter! Boom! The energy exploded under Zhou Fu's feet. The fierce energy gathered in his fist. Kill! The black-clothed man's figure turned strangely in the air. A trace of anger flashed in her eyes. It's not a good habit to attack behind someone's back. Let me teach you the rules. The silver light suddenly appeared. Like a poisonous snake, it wrapped around Zhou Fu's wrist. She exerted her strength. Huh? Not good. The scene of blood splattering everywhere and broken arms flying in the air did not appear. The silver light seemed to be twisted on a piece of old leather. Not only did it not move, but she also almost let go of the soft sword. Just as the black-clothed man was stunned, a domineering fist wind was about to hit her. The black-clothed man did not panic. She turned her left hand and a cold energy burst out. From top to bottom, she suddenly attacked. Boom! The fist and the palm collided. Zhou Fu's body paused. A strong force came from the fist, cold and domineering. In an instant, he was sent flying. Bang! Zhou Fu's body broke the door and window. He heavily smashed into the house. Boy! On the other side, Iron Tiger roared. But he did not continue to attack. He looked at the black-clothed man with fear in his eyes. Who the hell are you? The black-clothed man looked at the broken door and window and snorted contemptuously. You're just a boorish man from the countryside. How dare you try to hurt me? You don't know what you're talking about. She put her left hand behind her back and turned to Iron Tiger. Oh, you're not that strong. You're also a boorish man. In a place where no one could see, her left hand, which had just fought with Zhou Fu, was trembling. A burst of pain came from the palm of her hand. Iron Tiger was not a kind man. When he heard the black-clothed man's words, anger rose in his heart. With a grim smile, he shook the saber in his hand. Since you want to die, then, huh? The two suddenly turned to look inside the house. I really hate being whipped around by others. Zhou Fu's upper body was naked. His solid muscles were well-defined. Under the light, they seemed to be plated with a faint layer of copper. You're actually fine? The black-clothed man's tone was full of shock. She had used a lot of strength just now. Coupled with her cold inner strength, an ordinary warrior would be seriously injured and lose their ability to fight. In her eyes, Zhou Fu was just a boorish man with low cultivation and rough martial arts. And such a person was actually fine after taking a few hits from her. Not only the black-clothed man, but Iron Tiger was also stunned. He had fought with the black-clothed man before and knew how powerful she was. Therefore, he had the same doubts. You hit me so hard. The last time I felt this way, it was Big Tiger of the Black Mountain Bandit. Then Big Tiger died, and now it's you. The black-clothed man suddenly felt bad. She was not afraid of Iron Tiger. As long as she was given time, she could even kill him. Now that there was a strange Zhou Fu, she suddenly had a thought of leaving. Zhou Fu's body slightly arched. His blood and qi rushed out from his heart. On his arm, blue veins popped out like old vines. A strong aura locked on to the black-clothed man. Speak, who are you? Chapter 45. Zhou Fu's question ignited the anger of the woman in black. She was actually yelled at by the son of a merchant, a rich playboy, and a country bumpkin. Brat, do you think you can be so arrogant just because you have thick skin? You're just a country bumpkin, a toad at the bottom of a well who doesn't know how big the world is. As the words left her mouth, a powerful aura rose from the woman in black. Today, I'll show you what I'm capable of and open your eyes. As the gentle female voice spoke, it suddenly turned into a rough male voice. This sudden turn of events left Zhou Fu dumbfounded. Such a big contrast really caught him off guard. Country bumpkin, take this. The wind whistled and the heat waves surged. Before Zhou Fu could react, a figure flashed in front of him and a force exploded in front of his chest. Boom! The strong and fierce palm force slammed Zhou Fu into the room, smashing a large number of tables and chairs along the way. Bang! Zhou Fu's back hit the pillar, and the force of the impact made him cough a few times. He stretched out his hand and touched his body a few times. He didn't feel any discomfort, but the skin on his chest was warm. Nothing happened? Was the other party just for show? Such a powerful move didn't seem to have any effect on him. This is eternal spring energy? In Zhou Fu's body, a warm current circulated in his meridians. When it reached his chest, a warm and cool feeling spread out, making him feel very comfortable. Zhou Fu stood up and checked himself again. After confirming that there was nothing wrong with him, he walked towards the door. At the door, after the woman in black sent Zhou Fu flying with a palm, she stood there laughing wildly. On the other side, Iron Tiger frowned after seeing the change in the woman in black. He seemed to have heard of the woman in black before, but he couldn't recall any information about her. The woman in black ignored Iron Tiger and laughed wildly. You've been hit by my red flame palm, even if... The woman in black suddenly stopped. In her line of sight, Zhou Fu's figure became clearer and clearer. You're actually fine? It shouldn't be like this. He even rubbed his eyes to make sure it wasn't an illusion. The corner of Zhou Fu's mouth twitched as he said, "Didn't you just say that I'm a country bumpkin with rough skin and thick flesh? Of course, I'm fine after being hit by 2 palms. But—" His tone changed as he continued, "It seems like something is going to happen to you." Zhou Fu didn't have any good words for this inexplicably confident man in black in front of him. First, the other party slapped him from the courtyard to the corridor. Then, he slapped him into the house twice in a row. Although it didn't cause any harm to him, he still cared about his reputation. Ha 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 ha. The black-clothed man was so angry that he laughed. What big words! I really want to know what you can do to me. Then watch carefully. Rumble. A violent burst of energy exploded under Zhou Fu's feet as he punched out. Open mountain! Hee hee, you don't know what you're talking about. The black-robed man smiled contemptuously. He didn't dodge or evade and instead sent out a palm strike. Kid, you're too slow. A hideous laughter rang in Zhou Fu's ears. Behind his body, a scorching hot palm wind attacked his body, and a fierce palm strike exploded on his shoulder. Bang! The black-clothed man sent Zhou Fu flying again with a palm strike. Ha 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 ha, little brother, don't you want to know why I call you a country bumpkin? Listen to me slowly explain to you, the gentle voice rang again. Before Zhou Fu landed on the ground, a cold force exploded on his body again. Boom! The black-clothed man slapped Zhou Fu to the ground from above, and the ground suddenly shattered. Little brother, do you understand this time? A pair of black boots appeared beside Zhou Fu. One foot was raised, and then it stepped heavily on Zhou Fu's chest. Do you understand now? Ha 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 ha. It was the coarse voice again. 2 streams of heat and cold energy wreaked havoc in Zhou Fu's body, like 2 large hands, using different forces to tear at his muscles and meridians. Ugh, Zhou Fu frowned in pain. His hands unconsciously grabbed his opponent's ankle, and he pushed with all his strength. The black-clothed man mockingly exclaimed, a sneer on his lips. If this could push Zhou Fu away, he might as well dig a hole and bury himself in it. Ha 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 ha, kid, use more strength. Did you not eat enough? As he spoke, he increased his strength. At the same time, waves of scorching energy bombarded Zhou Fu's body. In his heart, he hated this coarse and thick-skinned person to death. On the other side, Iron Tiger stared at the black-clothed man and asked uncertainly, "Are you the Yin-Yang Demon Lord?" The black-clothed man turned his head in surprise and looked at Iron Tiger. "I didn't expect that there would be someone who has heard of me in such a remote and desolate place." Hearing the other party admit it, Iron Tiger's entire body trembled. You didn't help." As if he thought of some taboo, Iron Tiger's expression suddenly changed, and he swallowed the rest of his words. Ha 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 ha. I really didn't expect that you would actually know. Ha ha, can we talk properly now? Iron Tiger's expression changed. He muttered to himself for a while, as if he had forgotten that Zhou Fu was being abused under the other party's feet. Sir, I don't care if you are the Yin-Yang Demon Lord, or never mind, we will mind our own business. However, if you provoke our Red Sea gang, we are not to be trifled with. Ha, your words are quite firm. The black-clothed man chuckled, but fear appeared in his eyes. He came here today with no intention of directly clashing with the Red Sea gang. In this world, people came and went for the sake of profit. She did not have any conflict of interest with the Red Sea gang, so naturally, she would not clash with them for no reason. I came here today because of the Black Mountain Bandits. Black Mountain Bandits? Iron Tiger frowned. How could this person be related to a gang of bandits? Could it be? Suddenly, shock flashed across Iron Tiger's eyes. He swallowed his saliva and said in a low voice, "We don't have any grudges with the Black Mountain Bandits, right?" The black-clothed man, who had been paying attention to Iron Tiger, naturally noticed the change in his eyes. An indescribable expression appeared in her eyes. There is no Red Sea gang, but the person under my feet killed the third leader of the Black Mountain Bandit. This Iron Tiger was in a difficult position. He did not want to have any conflict with the Yin-Yang Demon Lord or the forces behind him, but he could not watch the Zhou clan get into trouble in front of his eyes. Otherwise, the Red Sea gang would become a joke. The black-clothed man smirked. I wonder, soul-chasing saber Iron Tiger, Hall Master Tai, what rules do you have? Just as the black-clothed man and Iron Tiger were conversing, Zhou Fu's body was in chaos. Two waves of inner strength, one hot and one cold, constantly invaded his body. At the same time, the inner strength of the eternal spring energy that originally belonged to him realized that something was wrong and hurriedly rushed up. In an instant, the three waves of inner strength collided. The inner strength of the eternal spring energy was pure and peaceful, while the other two were ruthless and overbearing. When the three of them collided, it was as if cold water had been poured into a pot of hot oil, instantly boiling. This time, Zhou Fu was in trouble. His meridians and muscles trembled non-stop as if there was an earthquake. Traces of blood began to seep out from under his skin. Motherf ***, damn demon. I don't want to die. Under extreme pain, Zhou Fu opened the support panel. At this time, on the martial arts tab, only the immovable foundation seal could be upgraded. He had tried to upgrade this martial art twice, but he had not succeeded. Motherf ***, I don't want to die. Upgrade it for me. Trash support, I bought it in full. Motherf ***, upgrade it. Ding. Immovable foundation seal upgrade successful. Current level, 20. Cooldown, 30 days.